Okay, so evening everybody once again, yeah, because it wasn't recorded just now, right? So I'm Nat, yeah. Some cannot pronounce my name one, no issue. Just call me Nat. That one very easy one. And then my surname also Tan ma, so Tan terbalik is Nat ma, right? Correct. Very easy to remember one. Yeah. So I was invited to this session by Roy, as he mentioned that he was looking for a speaker, and just so happened he came across my podcast with Rebound with Resilience. And so I'm sure this topic uh, interests all of you because it's not just about mental health. I'm sure a lot of people are like very curious, like, wow, this person I really want to be the CEO of SRT or something, right? Yeah. A lot of people have asked me like a lot of questions. So if you have any question about like my aspiration, or if you have any like question about public transport, don't worry, just raise it, because it's through your question, right, that I can better understand your perspective of what public transport is. Yeah. Because I did receive some questions, like they asked me like is the distance of the MRT line determined by the operator or whatever, this sort of questions, right? As much as you think that it might sound stupid, or maybe you catch no ball, right? But I think to me it really helps me to understand like what people understand about public transport, and then I can do my part to clear doubts. Yeah. But apart from public transport, we can also talk about mental health, which is also what the podcast was about. So a lot of people see mental health as a taboo topic. So don't see as so, because mental health affects each one of us. And yeah, I know I'm repeating some of the things, but stress, right? Yeah, stress is part of all of this. So do not ever be afraid of like just voicing out about mental health, because it does affect each one of us, and we need to be there for one another. And as mentioned, I would like to keep this as interactive and as engaging as possible. So if any of you have any questions or comments, please feel free to just chime in. Yeah. And so right, let me think about this part. Right. Okay. So when Roy reached out to me, right, I saw a common topic, which is my time when I was in ITE taking the course in networking and systems administration. So I'm still not too sure whether that is part of the scope of what this society does. Yeah. But since it's technology, somehow it's related, right? Yeah. So during those times, actually, I went for 3 months of full-time ITE course before I actually had a meltdown. So for those of you who might know, right? So autism, right? Yeah. So some people, when you hear this word, it sounds familiar to you, but you don't know what it is. This is because a lot of people have been using it loosely, like, hey, this guy autistic, this kind of insults, right? But for myself, I say like I am really autistic lah. So if you use that on me, it's like, yeah, you're just saying the truth lah, right? Yeah. So but of course I'm not promoting the use of this term loosely, because it is a disorder, and we should also respect other people who do have it, and not many are willing to speak up about their condition like I am, right? So you might find it weird, like, especially when you go and Google what autism is, then you notice that the symptoms don't match what I am today, lah, basically. Because autism causes asocial behavior. Asocial meaning like it's not antisocial, lah. In Singapore context, we have been using this term wrongly for many years now, lah. But a lot of people started to correct me, say it's asocial, it's not antisocial, because asocial means the lack of social, and antisocial is like going against social. That means you want to just be destructive to society, lah. Yeah. Even though I admit I was a bit antisocial also, because sometimes I'm also disruptive to society. Yeah, that's something that I wouldn't like hide, lah. So actually, let's keep it interactive now. Okay, so how many of you, right, know what autism is? You can just write in the chat, you can just raise up your hand, you know. Even if you think that you know, and then you're like very unsure, like, hey, I know or I don't know, I know. Yeah, this is a good way to start because I'm surprised, you know, even 10 years ago, right? That was when I was diagnosed with autism. And so people really didn't know what that is. But even now, right, you see, after 10 years, some people still don't know what autism is. I asked around, even in those mental health chat groups, right, they don't really know what autism is. So if I did not do my part to share about my own personal experiences, right, then I think there will still be this problem of people not understanding what autism is. Yeah. And so right now, I really hope that everyone will just continue the conversation of mental health in their own circles, not just social circles, but even professional circles as well. Because we need to create a safe space for everyone to talk about mental health. Because once again, it affects every one of us. Yeah, no one is excluded. Like, you know, a lot of people say, right, oh, this guy do very well in A level, very well in O level. But are you sure he or she is really doing very well? Because all of this come at an expense, you know. Yeah. So this expense, usually it's the mental health part, lah. You know, like they may have very good grades, but it's usually as a result of just yeah, they are just tiring themselves out mentally, and then it's really bad for their mental health. So when you see someone doing well academically, right, that's actually a very good sign that they are not doing well in terms of other, like, you know, like mental health aspects and all that. So remember, no one is like strong man, strong woman. Yeah, we will always have our days, and yeah, there'll be ups and downs in life. So to answer Posing's question, right? Yeah, there is no cure for autism, to be honest. Yeah, whether you say medicine or therapy, no, there is no cure. But for me, the term that I use is overcome. Yeah, since there is no cure, you know, so how can we like deal with it, right? You know, like people say deal with it, right? So for me, I personally I stepped out from my comfort zone of not talking at all. So in the past, I always wore a cap, right? Like a hat, you know, just cover my eyes so you cannot see me, I cannot see you, right? So one part about autism, right, is we do not like to maintain eye contact. But that does not mean, right, that if we don't look at you, then you don't look at us, like, you know, this kind of thing. It's just that sometimes when we look at the eyes, like it's so weird to look into the eyes, right? Yeah. But then the funny thing is, if someone like makes me angry, then yes, that I will actually stare at you, right? Stare at you until you know that I'm angry and all that. So that's a funny thing, lah. But even though it sounds like it goes against like the fact of what autism is, right? But this is my life experience, because when people piss me off, I really give them the death stare, even though I tell you all I don't like to maintain eye contact. So that's, it can sound confusing lah, but this is really what I have been like since young. But now different lah. Now I happier, you know, more sociable. Talk to you, you talk to me, this kind of thing, right? So even if you see me in real life, right, I will actually maintain eye contact with you. But this took me a few years to overcome, because, like I told you, it's weird to look at someone's eyes, right? And now we are all on Zoom, right? Or Teams or whatever platform you use, right? So it doesn't look like I'm looking at you or whatever, right? So it doesn't apply so much. But really, if you see me in real life, I will maintain eye contact with you. Yeah. Even if not all the way, right? But you notice it's not that I will look away or whatever. I will still maintain the eye contact with you. Yeah. So that's one thing about autism. Huh? Okay. So for me, right, I have high functioning autism, and the chim medical term, it's called Asperger's syndrome. So in Asperger's, right, yes, communication is an issue, but in terms of intelligence, not to say that I'm smarter than you, you're smarter than me, this kind of thing, but it's true, we do see things in a different light, in a different way. So this resulted in a lot of my peers getting jealous lah. Like, how come you smarter than me? You know, you trying to be a smart aleck or what? You know lah. So that was a problem because they think that I was showing off. Yeah, but I'm not. I was really there to share what I know about a certain subject. So for example, it was about social studies. So in this course, not in this course, in this subject, right, there, there was this trick question. So the scenario of North Korea and China was highlighted. So in the scenario, it sounds like China hates North Korea kind of thing. But I have already like been into the whole like I read geopolitical stuff a lot last time. Yeah. So when I encountered this question, I told them no, no, no. China doesn't hate North Korea. You know, it's yes, they sometimes like, hey, don't do this lah, you know, this kind of thing. Yeah. But the thing is that you know like the two countries are technically communist, right? So you know like brother help brother kind of thing. Yeah. So this is what I told my classmates, you know, do you know the actual relationship between North Korea and China? And then as I explained, then they kind of like enlightened lah. They're like, oh, I didn't think of it that way, you know, because the paper kind of wanted to make people think that, you know, that's not the case. Yeah. So when I offer an alternative viewpoint, people start to accept that this guy is for real lah. He's not like showing off or whatever. But that also took quite a while lah, because everything takes time, right? Yeah. So okay, speaking of diagnosis, right? Okay, so not just for autism. So from what I know about other diagnoses, they are also quite expensive. Don't ask me how much. I don't know. Sorry, because my autism diagnosis was free of charge because the school delayed it. They were supposed to diagnose me like in P5, yeah, but they delayed it until like P6. So that's 1 whole year. So I got it for free, and I was made to do, you know, those kind of IQ tests, like look at the pattern. Then yeah, like through that one, somehow they diagnose. Don't ask me how, because I'm not I'm not a psychologist. I'm the one being pestered, you know, in a way. Yeah, so after that, then I received the diagnosis, and the diagnosis was a few pages long. I don't know how long. Yeah, but yeah, it's like, I don't know, 10 to 15 pages or how long. Yeah, I remember there was another mental health event that I went to. They mentioned about the diagnosis system, but I'm not very sure what diagnosis system they use and whether if it is actually accurate, right? But the thing is, we should not see diagnosis as a form of label, right? For me, I use it as a way to share my story, right? And you don't have to be diagnosed to share a story, because everyone has their own story, right? You don't need a diagnosis to share what you are going through. Yeah, it's just that I have this diagnosis. So in a way, people will believe lah, because you see, if I don't mention about diagnosis, then I come out and talk about autism. They'll be like, people will be like, what you know about autism? You're autistic, man. Right? You know, this kind of thing. Yeah. And just now, like what I mentioned, right? I don't look autistic. Because a lot of people, they associate mental health, not mental health, mental disorders, right, with actual like physical disorders, you know. So yeah, people tend to confuse autism with Down syndrome kind of thing, you know. So they think that those that look weird are the ones with problems. But no, all of these are invisible conditions. Yeah. So anyone can have it. Yeah, that's the truth, right? You cannot just say that, oh, you look weird, so you must have something. You know, this kind of thing. Yeah. So right now, a lot of people just wear masks, right? You know, yeah, like that. If you wear mask, then how do you tell someone is autistic or not, right? This kind of thing. Yeah. But the thing is, I have mild autism, so I don't do what people know about, like those, you know, those severe kind of autism, right? Like those who screech, they flap their arms and all that, right? Yeah, I don't do that. Yeah, that's usually for those on the severe end, because they don't know how to express themselves. Yeah, so in a way, this is an outlet to express themselves. And you may think that, you know, I say all this without knowing what I'm saying, right? But actually, I do have I came in contact with people who are on the severe end as well. I volunteered with mines before, and yeah, they tend to come out with all of this behavior, and socially it's not acceptable lah, but this is the way that they express themselves. So if you see someone like that in the public, right, like don't, yeah, I cannot say don't judge lah. You know, everyone is judgmental in a way, right? They see, what's wrong with this person, right? This kind of thing, right? But I think maybe today I can just say that if you see someone like this, right, then at least you know what they are going through lah, because there's this thing called meltdown, as I mentioned. So for some people, meltdown is just anger outburst, and that's for me lah. But for some, they cannot express in anger. So for some of them, they express in other ways, such as just like either sitting down or lying down on the floor. You may think that they want attention or whatever, but it's because they sensory overload lah. Yeah, it's like either too noisy or too much light, you know, this kind of thing that it irritates them. It really like it triggers them like in a way. Yeah. So for me, I also cannot tahan noise one, because if it's very noisy, I will also be like very angry, right? But the funny thing is, you see, I'm very familiar with public transport, right? So wherever the bus makes the sound of steam being released, or the train have any screeching sound as it comes into contact with the track at a bend, right, I am okay with all this because I'm already used to it. Yeah, but other people with autism, they might not be okay with this, so they might even be triggered. So yeah, that's one problem lah. And let's say if you are, let's take mines for example. If let's say you are voluntary at mines, you know, and then suddenly this child suddenly he freak out, then you don't know what happened. But you see, it's not that you don't know what happened. It's that something that we have been very used to, this child still cannot accept, which is like when the fighter jet flies over, right? Like, I don't know where all of you live, lah, right? But for me, I live Serangoon North, and it's on a downwind path to Paya Lebar Airport Air Base, lah, right? So a lot of fighter jet, a lot of the planes flying here and there is very noisy. So this can trigger them to into a meltdown situation, lah. Yeah. So Pose say I look very normal. Yes, that's the problem. So when I began to share, like, you know, hey, I have autism, you know, if you have any question, maybe I can help you. Then a lot of people start to say, hey, you don't look autistic, you try to seek attention, is it? You try to find maybe like pity. Yeah. So when I heard this, I was very sad because I finally overcome my situation, my condition. And this is what I hear from the general public. Yeah, so it was really sad lah. But I also learned to overcome that. And I just say that, you know, I've been through all this lah. If you don't believe, it's up to you lor. I create all this story for what? Right? I don't have anything to gain from creating all this story. You know, by right, I should charge people for my story, you know. But no, because this is the thing is, I want to raise awareness about mental health, you know. So I don't say you want to listen to me talk, pay $10, come. No such thing one. Yeah. So all of you are really very blessed that Roy decided to reach out to me, yeah, because this is a very unique perspective that many have not heard before, and I really hope to share in other events as well. Yeah, so sometimes let's say if you tag along my like follow my calendar, right? Yeah, then let's say you go to every single talk that I go where that I speak at, right? You will notice I say a lot of things that are repetitive lah. But did you know, right? It's actually useful for me because all of this mental health journey, or rather mental health, like as I mentioned in the podcast, right? It's like 10 years long already. I won't remember everything one. So whenever I share again and again, you know, it's not just the same information, but rather little bit of pieces of information, right, that have been lost in time, right? They resurface to me then I remember, oh, actually this happened. And sometimes I also talk to my mom, who has been very close to me in my journey. And it's very funny, you know, she will say, hey, you forget. Ah. Then I also say, hey, you forget what, right? So in a way, we help each other to remember what we've actually went through. And this helps me lah as I speak at more and more events, you know, like just today, she told me that I was referred to a counseling center because of my meltdown at ITE. Yeah. And she said that I was supposed to see this counselor for about 1 year before I so-called report back to ITE about my situation, and then see how like, this kind of thing. So for me, I like to mix with people of a like a mature audience basically, because since young I've been teased a lot, and those are usually same age group people. So this is why I prefer to talk with adults, because they are naturally more mature, right? This kind of thing, right? Of course, it doesn't apply to everyone. I mean, some adults, they're actually immature, right? Yeah, but the thing is, I did find my comfort through that, because there was definitely less teasing and more seriousness, you know, where it's needed lah. So that's also the current environment for my class of just 4 other classmates. So they are all working in the industry, in the public transport industry. So 3 of them, they are working in SRT, and one of them is working in a subsidiary under the LTA. So through this, right, I have this really good environment, you know, because they understand what I talk about. I also understand what they talk about. So there isn't a sort of barrier like, hey, you talk this, I don't understand, this kind of thing. Yeah, and uh, this classmate that works under the subsidiary of LTA, right? Because my course is related to MRT, but his exposure is mostly related to buses. So whenever the question in the like test paper, right, is about trains, then he a bit like feel unconfident, like not confident. Then I tell him, it's okay. You see, I know both. I can be the bridge. I can tell you like how to rephrase the question lah, so that instead of just think about MRT, right, you can also think it from a bus perspective. So that definitely helped him, right? And yes, we passed our last module quite nicely lah. Yeah. I got A for both modules, but I didn't care so much about that, because most importantly is I want all of my classmates to pass as well, because the class is already 5 people only, you know, 5 people. So even the lecturers were like very confused, like, huh, 5 people only? How the class continues at 5 people only? But yeah, the class still continues. But the thing is, if we have 4 people or 3 people, I think that's where the class has to stop lah, because you know the general consensus of when a class is too small, then we cannot really start the class. Yeah. So far so good, because if my class is delayed, I think there'll be an issue with my scholarship. Yeah. And this scholarship is technically 3 years, 3 years bond, but my class is not class. My course is 2.5 years. Yeah. So I will start serving internship with SRT next year, maybe starting August. Yeah, depends when my exam end and all that lah. Then I will officially start in 2023. Yeah. So even though now that I start to like embark on this journey, right? But way like long before all of this, I have already been engaging the LTA and other stakeholders in how we can improve public transport. Yeah. So some may think like, email only, like, what can emails do? But don't underestimate the power of email. I really brought a lot of change through the emails that I write. Yeah, and it's about addressing the correct party also, lah, right? If let's say send it to the wrong place, or you think that your Facebook page very famous, you know, this kind of thing, and then you post on your Facebook page, right? The LTA won't know. Yeah, LTA, SBS Transit, SRT, Tower Transit, go ahead, all of this, they won't know because your page is your page. You have to bring the issue to their attention. And that's why I email all of the stakeholders. And yeah, it took some time before they realized that I was for real because, you know, some people like to send email to LTA just to make fun of them or whatever. But for me, no, I don't just complain, you know. I always supplement my complaint with a suggestion on how they can do better. And yeah, the public transport side in the LTA, they have already been quite receptive to my feedback. Now the issue is active mobility. As you know, November 2019, right? Yeah, that's when you cannot write PMD here, cannot write PMD there. Why? Because someone langgar into someone, and you know, yeah, everyone knows about this, right? So the LTA really took safety of this issue very lightly. When I emailed them regarding how we shouldn't just look at motorized modes, right? They say that, oh, motorized more dangerous, because got motor, you know, higher acceleration. But I say, even before we had PMDs, we already have a lot of cases where cyclists are just riding recklessly. And the LTA can actually tell me that, you know, it's not dangerous. Wow. When I hear this, I'm very angry. Like, even though I don't cycle, like, okay, I admit I cannot cycle one. But the thing is, I don't know how to cycle, right? But I still do my part to make it a safe environment for everyone, whether you're a cyclist, a PMD user, a PMA user, or just a pedestrian. It's about safety. Yeah, like it's overrated lah. People always say like what safety first, this kind of thing, right? But I really put safety in my core values. So I have 5 core values which I usually use for public transport. But you can actually use it in other contexts as well. So the first is safety, as I said, because safety first, don't be like SAF, put safety at the last. That one make no sense. Then the second one is practicality. Is the idea practical or not? Yeah, because ideas are good, but sometimes we also need to look at the context of where we want to implement the idea. Then the third one is accessibility. A lot of people talk about accessibility. Like, it's not just about wheelchair, you know, it's also about whether it's accessible to everyone. So it can be in terms of digital accessibility as well. Like we can say that, oh, everyone now should have a smartphone, right? You know, this kind of thing. But no, we need to know that not everyone has a smartphone. So don't just think about the world, you know, think about our own country. I'm sure some of us, right, we don't really have access to technology, and this was made evident through my attendance at Youth Corps Singapore's Mission X program recently. And I learned that in many of the 1-room and 2-room households, right, they don't really have access to technology. Yeah, this may sound surprising, especially when, you know, almost everyone has at least a smartphone or laptop, you know, this kind of thing, right? Yeah, but that's the truth. Yeah, we may think that technology has already penetrated our society like for many years already, right? Yeah, but we must think about others lah. We cannot just generalize that, hey, you have a phone, I have a phone, my wife have one too, you know, this kind of thing. Yeah, so I have lost track of what I want to say next, but let's see the okay, so BT says, oh, so we work with a youth that has autism, and okay, yeah. So yeah, some people still cannot really express themselves like in a so-called socially acceptable way lah. Right? So that's why people kind of ostracize them because like, hey, you're different, you know, hey, what's wrong with you? Yeah. So you mentioned that your other senior colleagues do not understand his condition. And it seems like you do lah. So did you talk to your colleagues about it? And I like you're positive that this youth has autism, right? Yeah. If you're positive, then I think that's a good stepping stone to talk about it in your own like context. Yeah, because just now I say already, it's about sharing our own story, sharing within our own circle as well. Yeah. So please do that. Yeah, because I don't want to, maybe after 10 years I still got people tell me I don't know what autism is, you know. Even though I talk today, then 10 years later people still tell me I don't know what autism is, this kind of thing. Yeah, so I really hope that through this through this raising of awareness, right? Yeah, people can better understand what it is. And yes, it's a spectrum, as what Roy sent to me via PM. I think that one just copy from I don't know where lah. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't really have to read that lah, because I am a living example myself. Yeah, and I know that autism is a spectrum. There's the mild, there's the severe. You know, so there will always be uh other disorders, and not just autism, that you have never heard about. You know, there's like bipolar. Yes, people heard about that before, but how well do you know what bipolar is? And do you even know that mania? A lot of people use mania in marketing, right? But it's actually an actual condition, you know. So it's so interesting to see that actual condition name all become some kind of a buzzword and used very loosely. So this is where we need to educate ourselves, and maybe you can just go and search up on like mental health conditions. So some people tell me, yeah, autism is not actually a mental health disorder, it's a neurological disorder. But the thing is, it still ties in with mental health, yeah, because it's on the mental side of things, right? It's not physical. Yeah. So yeah, lah, sometimes people want to correct me, then say, hey, what you know about this, this kind of thing. So yeah, sometimes people really, they confront me. Got one guy on Instagram, right? He messaged me, you mentioned that there's this correlation between autism and people who like buses, like trains. Then he said he disagree. Then he said he asked his parents also disagree. But the thing is, it's not about agreeing or disagreeing, It's actually about seeing it from our own standpoint. Because not sure how many of you actually heard of news of enthusiasts like bus fan, train fan, this kind of thing, right? They do funny things on. So I'm not like them, yeah. But I also want to address the situation that why they are like that and all of this. So I do my part, lah, right? But the rest, they also have to do their part to understand and to like give them some space, lah. Like, okay, they have this issue, it's not say it's an excuse for them, but at least be more understanding, because sometimes they cannot express themselves. And I'm sure many of us have also read the news of a pathlight student, who engaged in a conversation with a bus captain on the MRT. So as we see news that are like that, right, it really touches our heart, because that means that people actually care for people with all of these so-called disabilities, lah. Yeah, a lot of people like to call this disability, but for me, I see as an enabler, because it enables me to see things differently. Yeah. And after overcoming so many of the bad things, lah, of what autism actually causes for me, right, I would say, yeah, it's no longer a disability for me. Yeah, and social aspect, that's one thing that stands out in autistic individuals, and you can see that I can talk to you very normally one. Yeah, so this is what I do not see as a disability anymore. And like some people very like particular, like what you call a disability. I'm not that type of person. I'm just trying to say that for me, I have already overcome that part. Yes, I still do get angry, but then I ask you, you also will get angry one, right? Yeah. So anger is a part of what we are as humans, lah, right? Yeah. So it's not exclusive to autism or any form of a mental disorder or mental illness, Yeah. So I will still have outbursts at times. That's something that's inevitable, lah. But the thing is, I learned to control. So now my patience threshold is definitely higher. Yeah. In the past, it's literally short tempered one. The fuse I think 3 seconds long only. Yeah, so it's very short one. But now I actually close one eye lah. Whenever I see someone try to offend me or whatever, right? I see it from a different perspective. Maybe he or she didn't mean it, you know. Maybe he or she is also trying to be direct about the opinion that they want to give. Yeah, so don't take things personally lah. That's what I learned, and I definitely learned to live happier. Yeah, because the more you overthink about all this, right, then the more you like trap yourself in that chasm of like, does this person hate me or what, you know? Then it fuels a sense of unhappiness lah. So this is something that I definitely overcome as well, and I'm definitely a happier person now. And I also heard some feedback from people around me, like those so-called new friends that I make through speaking at events, whether it's whether I'm the main speaker or I'm just a very hyperactive guy inside the chair or whatever, right? But they see that I have a very positive vibe, and they want to learn more from me, want to talk with me more, and you know, so I think this is a very welcoming sign, yeah. And everyone will definitely be like much more drawn in lah, you know, like this guy is willing to share, you know, why not just listen, see what he want to say, you know, this kind of thing. Yeah. So BT has responded. Okay. Yes, yes, you are correct, BT. Yes, we are good in certain areas. Okay. Art not for me lah. I cannot really. I can draw a plane, but then you will see the wings look very weird one. Yeah. I try lah, but it's not that I draw very badly. It's just that sometimes I have this perfectionist view, right? I need to draw it nice. Then end up doesn't look nice lah. And yes, remembering places. That's a very good point, because since young, right, people read storybook, right? You guess what I read, okay? Maybe you can put in the chat lah. You whoever guess it, right? Wow, I really clap for you, because in the past I don't read storybook one. Like, you know, primary school they have those assembly session, right? I don't bring storybook. You guess what I bring? Yeah, and maths, no, I'm not good at maths. Primary school I really hate maths. Secondary school I also hate maths. Yeah, but now I can do mental sums lah. So that's the funny thing. And yes, read bus guide, but one more. I also brought one more book. So after that, right? Like, okay, let's talk about the gifts that we want as kids. So a lot of people always ask, hey, I want Xbox, or I want this what's the other one called? PlayStation, yeah, this kind of thing, right? But what I requested from my mom for my I think it was birthday gift or yeah, I think birthday gift. Yeah, I didn't request for those type of things that kids normally want. I requested for highway code. Yeah, even though I was still very young, confirm cannot drive. But the thing is, I wanted to already like look at how we can improve traffic and all that. And yeah, traffic, it really interests me as well. So I am not a traffic engineer, but I feel like I can definitely help traffic engineers lah. Yeah, because I have done a lot to like improve traffic flow. Once again, through email, through other outlets of feedback, right? And for my primary school, which is Rosyth, as some of you might know, is elitist school lah, but I'm not an elitist lah, so don't worry. Yeah, so there was this issue of traffic jam along the road lah, which is Serangoon North Avenue 4. So this is considered a one-lane road, but there is a road divider that you can just drive over, like, because it's just a road marking. It's not a physical divider. Yeah. But then the issue is during dismissals, a lot of the parents, they drive their car and then park by the curb. Then what happened? Traffic jam. And then what's worse is all the buses gonna stop. And then you can imagine, wow, the traffic jam very bad. And last time every car just has to horn one. I don't know why. Yeah. And then it's, yeah, you know, just now I mentioned about noise, right? I cannot tahan the noise. So I just shout at all the drivers, like, why must you horn? You know, like clearly you cannot move, right? Then just wait your turn, you know. And yeah, so after that I went to, there was one time I went to RWS lah, yeah, and then I noticed there's this layout, the car park layout, you know, the basement, then I noticed that I can actually put this layout like in the school. So the school field was really underutilized lah. So I suggested why not demolish it. So instead of demolishing it, right, they moved it upstairs lah. So I think that's the first time I ever see a field that's like in the air one, and they put this pick up drop off point kind of design that I suggested down there in the original side of the field. And yes, right now traffic condition is definitely way better than like I don't know how many years ago lah. Huh? And I think as a result of that, right, the LTA was also able to introduce one more bus service, which is 116. And yeah, so you can see, even though my suggestion was for the traffic situation to be better, but you can see that because it becomes so good, right, you can also introduce another bus service. So a lot of people sometimes doubt like, no lah, maybe somebody also suggests this together with you, like you just that you don't know. But then I ask them like, why got so 巧 one? I go RWS, you also go RWS. Then I come back, I formulate this idea, you also formulate. No lah. So sometimes people, okay lah, maybe it's the truth, they say so, yeah. But I stand by my view lah, that I see things differently. I can see that it helps, then I suggest it lah. Because a lot of people say, like even a lot of the ideas that I suggested, not just for bus, but also for train, right? A lot of people also use the same excuse. They say, no lah, maybe somebody already thought of this, then just nice to implement at the same time when you write in, right? But I say that, then when I mentioned about this idea, why nobody take ownership? But the funny thing is, when I want to say that I was the one who created it, right? Then people start to all hentam me, say, no lah, not you lah, you know. So you know, this is the issue, when people are kind of like jealous of you, like, you know, how come SRT listen to you, this kind of thing. So they will say like, hey, you black magic, but no, I would say that it's because the idea is valid, and you make a very good point on why they should follow your idea and how it helps them, you know. So that's why they went through with the idea. So I'm not sure how many of you actually take MRT lah, right? But if you take the circle line and you see those metal bar at the escalator landing, right? That one, two of the stations, that one directly what is my idea, right? But if you see at other stations, I would say SRT probably saw the benefit of actually implementing it in other stations as well. So the issue is a lot of people, when they take the escalator, right, they like to, you know, they like to walk in a way that, you know, it's a shortcut. I walk this way, it's faster. But they don't realize when they do this, they conflict with the oncoming human traffic flow. So this is why I suggested them to put this metal bar. So when people walk, right, they won't go and have this conflict, because you know escalators are very dangerous one. And if we have a traffic conflict at the escalator landing, wow, got something happen, you die already. I you know lah, right? It's very dangerous, yeah. So again, it's safety. It's an idea with safety in mind. And so the stations where you can find this bar, right, is the first one is at Buona Vista, and the second one is at Serangoon. Yeah. So the one at Buona Vista is L shaped. Yeah. But in Serangoon, it's just a normal straight bar, but it serves the same purpose. It's to separate traffic from each other, so there's no conflict. Yeah. And so no one guessed the other book. Okay lah, come lah. I give the answer. Street directory. So through the street directory, right, I go and memorize the whole MRT system back. Then I always ask my friend lah. I say, hey, I bought test me MRT system. I confirm give you the station name. So I always say like, start with the station that's closest to you lah, right? So sometimes they don't know the code, so they can just tell me the station name, then I give them the code lor. So it's an interesting way to share with people that, you know, I have this this good memory lah, right? And speaking of good memory, I also remember some of my primary school classmates' full name. Yeah. So after this mothership news exposure, right, a lot of them reach out to me. Then they say, hey, I saw you on the news, you know. Then I just kacau them lah, because they are my primary school classmates, ma. Then like really long time never see already this kind. So I say, hey, yeah, I remember you, you know. Then I just put their full name. Then like, oh, okay, this one confirm you. Because they know that when I was young, I memorized even the class list, you know, like there's about 40 plus people in one class. And I memorized this all the way until secondary school lah. So in this way, it really made it easy for the teachers lah. Like when the teacher yell this number, I say this person, this name, yeah. And let's say we're taking attendance, you know this person is not there. You can just tell the teacher, not there, not there, there, not there, there, not there, you know. So it really makes it very easy. It's much more efficient process. And so yeah, it doesn't apply to just public transport. Like no matter where I go, this is a general principle that I live by. It's to make things as smooth and as efficient as possible. And so just now I stopped my core values, right? Yeah, I stopped as accessibility. So the fourth core value is cost effectiveness. This one must add one lah, because people will ask me, hey, you know this idea will cost how much or not, you know? Because everything involves money lah. So yeah lah, I must put the C bo pian one. But then the last one is efficiency. So you may think, why I put efficiency last? But the thing is, it's not that I put it at the last, you know, it's that a lot of people tend to balance safety and efficiency together, right? Like you might have seen news articles always mentioning that, you know, we need both a safe and efficient system. No matter what system it is, we need it to be safe and efficient, right? So I come up with this idea of putting safety and efficiency at the extreme ends and using practicality, accessibility, and cost effectiveness as the so-called judging criteria on how this idea can be made better. And so through this revision, right, we can strive towards a balance of safety and efficiency. So it's never possible to reach a perfect balance lah. But what you can do and is basically to strive for it. Yeah, because a lot of people are very, you know, just now I mentioned about perfectionists, right? Yeah. But we need to accept the fact that if you cannot achieve, it's not say don't achieve lah, you know, like just do your best. As long as you do your best, you strive for it, right? There will be a certain difference that is made in somebody's life, in a systems process and all that. Yeah, so so these 5 core values of mine, it spells out space lah. So initially when I was coming up with this core value, right, I didn't have accessibility. I was thinking SPCE. Okay, so clearly there is one alphabet missing. Should I put A or should I put I? Yeah. So I thought about accessibility because a lot of people talk about accessibility, you know. So just now I mentioned about the digital access kind of thing. Yeah, but when I added accessibility, it was mostly about like wheelchairs kind of thing, because I attended some online events talking about the US public transportation. As some of you might know, US public transport is actually quite terrible one. Yeah. So it's not say I go there and have a schadenfreude moment, like laugh at you or whatever. Is that I also want to find out how we can also look at their situation and recommend how they can improve. And you see, I have already done my part for Singapore's public transport. So I feel that, you know, through this, I can definitely bring change to other countries as well. And yeah, right now I'm also involved in the US Transportation Research Board. I'm a member in 2 committees. And one of the committees, it focuses on intermodal facilities, passenger intermodal facilities. So it's basically like your ITH, Integrated Transport Hub, the connection between airport and maybe the train station, this kind of thing. So I found that is definitely my area of expertise. And that's also the committee that I'm very active in right now. Yeah. So of course, it's because of all of this Zoom and whatever, right? That's why we can all like attend a lot of events across the world and all that. And that's also where I see that that's the potential where I can really bring impact, not just to my own country, but also to other countries, which will definitely benefit from my expertise and my analysis, because once again, I see things in a different light. But not to say that everyone don't see things in a different light. It's just that sometimes everyone say something, you notice that they all say the same kind of thing. I'm the only one that says a different kind of thing. Yeah. Then sometimes when I disagree to something, people say, hey, you disagree for the sake of disagreeing, is it? Then I say, no, I will come up with a paragraph to justify why I say no. Yeah, I'm not the type to just say no. Yeah, I really come up with a reason. And then that's how we can all like improve lah. Yeah. So yeah. So for this one, you can see mostly I mentioned about how we can improve and all that, right? Yeah. So it's like tech talk kind of like resource already. It's very funny. Just that this is not TED Talk lah. Yeah. So the next thing we can also mention about, right, is so from full-time to part-time. Yeah. So this was definitely a beneficial change for me because I don't like CCA. I find that CCA is a waste of time. And yeah, in part-time class, it's definitely better lah because you get straight to the point, you learn about the course, you don't have to waste time to do what CCA, life skills. In ITE, life skills is the most time-wasting subject one. Like they call it life skills lah, but it's actually English lesson lah. If anyone might be familiar with the topic, yeah, it's actually English lesson. So for me, I'm like, I don't need this. Okay, so right now I talk to you, like Singlish, broken English, all this, right? But actually my English can one. Don't worry about it. It's just that in order to make it feel informal, right? This is how I speak, yeah. But when I need to speak in a professional way, I will one. Don't worry, yeah. And another thing is I advocate for Singlish, but at the same time, I can also use proper English. Then some people will be like hypocrite. Yeah, but I say no, we need Singlish. This is a part of our own identity. Yeah, if everyone uses proper English, then it's like boring lah, you know. And did you know even the English people, they can't English, like they cannot even English. Like I attend a lot of the UK events, right? When they type their questions, you can see the English makes no sense on. And bear in mind, these are people from the UK and they cannot even use their own language properly. So who are they to tell us to use proper English if they go and pollute their own language, right? Yeah. Sometimes things like that are just really funny lah. So that's also what I learned as I attend a lot of these online events. And so not just the US and the UK, I am also quite active in the transport areas in Australia as well. So I applied to be student members in a lot of all of these societies. So the funny thing is, usually they collect membership fee, right? It's because you can tap on their resource. But funnily, right, I'm the one who is the resource lah. So I don't know why is I pay them or they pay me, like this kind of thing. But I'm not so like particular about it lah, because in a way, it's also a network that we can all gather around and then talk about how public transport, how other forms of mobility can be improved in their own areas, in their own city, country, or wherever they come from. Yeah, and on mental health in Australia, one of the events that I attended, right, there was also a speaker who has autism. So the funny thing is, this is where just now I mentioned about the noise from the bus and the train, right? Yeah. So this speaker, she mentioned that when this the sound of the bus just because it's very sudden one, like the handbrake release or whatever, right? You don't know when it will come, especially if you're not familiar with how vehicles work, right? You just like to them it's just taking bus from point A to point B, right? But for me, I know what a bus is, I know how it works, this kind of thing. So for her, she said that she was often like very shocked whenever there was this sound, like just now I say steam release or even a plane flying across. Yeah. So this is a point to also like to tell everyone that not everyone with autism responds to a situation the same way. Yeah, everyone is different. So never see something as a label like everyone is different. So let's say if you know someone in your family or someone in your extended family or maybe a friend, somebody has this, right? this is where you can also use the opportunity to understand like what this person is facing. Then you can start to understand, comparing to what has been shared today, this is the difference that I can see between this person who is related to me and what I have heard today at this sharing session. Because this is the only way that we can better educate each one of us lah, that everyone has a different way of doing things, and so we can also understand like what may be good for this person may not be good for the other person, this kind of thing. So we are all different lah. That's the one point that I really have to make. We are all different, no one is the same. And if everyone is the same, like there's no point for me to share, right? Yeah, because if I am the same, you are the same, then I talk to you, like what's the point? I talk to you, you know what I'm gonna talk about already, right? This kind of robot kind of thing. Yeah. So it's because we are different. So we all have our own stories to share. And everyone, when everyone share their own story, we can have more knowledge to also understand like what this person is facing, what this person is going through, and also know that what you are going through might not be something that only you know about, because there may also be other people facing the same thing as you, just that they are not the type to share lah, because for people who talk about autism, right, there's this issue of them getting shot down like in a way that they might kena sabo, because the let's say in a workplace environment, then this colleague will be, hey, I saw your this news, hey, I tell your boss, this kind of thing. Yeah, because some colleagues, they are actually that toxic, right? But in my situation, I share today, you cannot sabo me because I publicly share about it. Like what can you use to actually like weaponize it against me, right? So no, I weaponize my story as a weapon for good. Yeah. But other people, lah, some are toxic, they will say, oh, okay, very good, very good. But after that, they twist your story, and then say you said this, but you didn't say this. So it's because of people like that, right? Some people who really want to share about their story, they just don't dare to share. It's because of these people who really like serve to cause trouble one. So for this, I always have an idea to tell them, go and look for someone you really trust in. Because if let's say you go to an anonymous group therapy kind of session, right, then you will definitely keep quiet one, because it's stranger ma. Like who can you confide in? Who who will actually like truly help you, this kind of thing, right? So that's one barrier for a lot of people with mental health issues. So for me, I always tell them, if you are not comfortable with sharing in a so-called public space, then if you're okay with like telling me, right, I also don't mind, right? Yeah, because you see, I share my story, you can also share your story, but you're not obliged to, because everyone has their own reasons of not sharing, lah. Maybe they feel uncomfortable, maybe they feel they might be attacked, this kind of thing. But one opportunity I noted, right, is that when people talk about something, even those who don't talk, right, they will slowly open up because it resonates with them. And when it resonates with them, right, they see that, oh, this guy is also going through the same thing as I am. Then they feel much more familiar with the situation. Then slowly they will open up. But of course, it doesn't apply to everyone. Some they are very tight-lipped about their situation, because once again, they don't want to kena sabo, because there are a lot of sabokia out there. So now I really want to create a safe space for everyone to talk about mental health. So likewise, when I do get into power, to actually start changing things from within nationality, that's also something that I want to do, which is to create a safe space for people to talk about their mental health, and to just make it easy for everyone to do so. Yeah, because there's always this workplace toxicity one. It's definitely there. But with my experience of being a branch in charge during my NS days, so because autism so cannot carry gun so I carry file, fight war with file, this kind of thing lah. But that was also where I could really share my expertise in admin excellence and tell people that, without admin, everything will just collapse. And because of me, the office working efficiency was definitely like much more better than it was before I joined them lah. So during my tenure there as a branch in charge, I actually virtually I eliminated office politics. So there's always this barrier between regulars and NSFs, right? But in my office, there isn't such a thing. Like you can see regulars and NSFs all very friend one. Yeah. It's because I serve to break down that barrier between them, and I am that bridge between them as well. So if anyone is unhappy with anyone, right, they can always come to me. Then I can always look for, not say look for, like look at the situation first before I even do anything. Because sometimes it might be a general misunderstanding. And yeah, a lot of times people really look for me. They say, hey, I don't like this guy. Can you do something about it? This kind of thing. Then I really ask the both of them, sit down, come, we talk. I like sayang kind one. Because for me, everyone like serve 2 years, then after that already, this kind of thing. So I say, I also make your life easy, right? Because you want to serve 2 years and then just zao. So I always emphasize it's welfare before punishment. As long as you are honest and you continue to do your job properly, right, then I will definitely make sure that your life is as smooth as it is possibly, because some regulars, they do have their qualms lah. Like, how come this guy lepak or whatever, yeah. But for me, if the guy gets the things done, then why not, right? Yeah. And the funny thing, whenever I go to some place new, slowly they will know what I know, which is public transport. But there was this guy, he was late. He came late. He booked in late. Okay, so what happened? He tell me train breakdown. Then I see, no what? Train didn't break down what? Yeah, so I asked him for his EZ-Link card. And then not sure if some of you know lah, yeah. But this is like a few years ago, so not sure if that the Simply Go app out already or not lah. But I was using another app, so I asked him to give him my like give me his EZ-Link card, yeah. And then I tap on my phone. There was no write recorded on the card at all on that day. Then I say like, ayo, that means you confirm lying to me already. Then I say, ayo, why you so stupid? You clearly know that I have knowledge in this sector, right? Then you want to like try your luck, lie to me, train breakdown. Then from then on, right, I tell people, if train really break down, you must tell me. And I also tell them, you must record the train car number and which station, what time, and all of this. So this way I can verify their claims. Likewise for buses. So as long as the bus isn't on time, right, I also say, yes, you can report to me, because there are two cases. One, the bus might be early. When the bus is early, does that mean that it reaches the stop early? No, that's not the case. They have to crawl to the bus stop because they have to follow the schedule. So that may cause them to be late, right? And then of course when the bus is late, it's already late, that was self-explanatory. So I also asked them, can you take a picture of, this is called the DDU, driver display unit. So there's this color. Orange means late, blue means early, green means on time. So as long as they can send me a picture of that, right, then I can vouch for them. Because of my validity in not say validity, like I have the expertise and then all the regulars actually trust in my verdict. So once I say the guy pass, the regulars won't pursue one. Yeah, if I say fail, then the regular can go and have fun with the guy like whatever punishment you want to come up with So that was very interesting, because you see I was only a recruit, just recruit only no rank. But because I have this special knowledge in this sector, right, and then I don't like abuse the power or abuse the privilege that has been given to me lah, right? So there's this general trust that people actually see that I really pride myself in doing things correctly, yeah. And yeah, like in that way, you can see that everyone also live a much more happier life, lah, you know. So their 2 years not so stressful because I did my best to make it as smooth as possible for them. And so this is what I strive for in everywhere I go, lah. So I just got off from a call with Astronaut HR just I think yesterday or something. So I also share a bit of the story to them lah. I say like what I want to do, you know. Yeah, don't care so much about my aspiration because to get to that point, right, I really tell them I want to start from the bottom, not from middle, not from top, from the bottom. It's because if we understand what's going on the ground, right, then we can better respond to the situation. Well, a lot of the things are like handled from a top-down approach, right? Then you know like sometimes the management is quite disconnected from the people on the ground, right? Yeah, that's the problem. And I do not want to be like entrapped by this problem, lah. Yeah. So I already have a like a very clear strategic plan, like lateral progression instead of vertical. So I can understand the different departments, what they are going through, what can be improved before I climb up to the next level. And then as I climb up, gradually I will have more power, more responsibility. That's also where I can start to like take action lah, based on what I received from my time when I was so-called on the ground level. And I see this as a very solid plan of progression because this way, right, people won't see that, hey, you are a high flyer or whatever, you must be, maybe you bootleg people or this kind of thing, yeah. Because a lot of people see high flyer this way one, right? It's very obvious one. Yeah, but for me, I want to make everyone's life as easy as possible, lah. If there's any redundant work processes that can be simplified, I will do my part to make it easier. Yeah, but of course not at the expense of safety, never. Yeah, this is why I also, I would say I'm very value oriented lah. I already told you I got 5 values, right? Yeah. So living by the 5 values, I can definitely come up with a concrete plan on how something can be improved. And actually, astronautics isn't my final destination. Yeah, so many people may think so, but if there's an opportunity, I will definitely want to explore roles with other companies as well, not just within Singapore, but also overseas, as I mentioned just now about US, UK, Australia. Yeah, because overseas expertise it's really in demand, you know. Not like if you look all around you, right? Yes, let's not talk about CECA or whatever, this kind of thing, right? But let's talk about like public transport expertise. Yeah, when you talk about this, you can see that there are many people who are from the US, but they end up taking up a chief role in the UK. You can be from the UK, you can end up in Australia, you know, this kind of thing. Yeah. Yes, they may all be like English speaking kind of countries, lah, but the thing is they are still different countries. Yeah, so there will be different cultures involved. Yeah, but it's just to say that overseas exposure it's definitely possible. And with like what I have already went through so far and always seeing things in a different light, that's what people need. Because when you offer a fresh perspective to a so-called a round table with all the old people, then they sometimes like look at you very weirdly. So actually I attended one of the CEO roundtable by Trapeze, which is a company that basically does the technology side of things for our bus scheduling lah. Yeah. So we actually use Trapeze for this bus scheduling even in our own country. So I was in their CEO roundtable, and I can see that the person who let me in, right, didn't regret the decision to let me in because I really gave them a lot of insights. You know, rather than just telling them that I'm a student, then whenever I tell people I'm a student, right, they just brush me away. They just, I am a student, what do they know? You know, this kind of thing. But there are some people who actually embrace students because they know that students are the future. So I always feel like it's definitely better lah, because students, you may think they don't know anything or whatever, but you must always know that everyone has a different opinion, and fresh blood. Yeah, no matter how long you want to stay in one position, you still need fresh blood to replace you one. That's the truth lah. You cannot stay there forever, right? Yeah. So yeah, for those who really like see students in different light, I always praise them. Like, even though I'm a student, but since I come with so many not say different background, but my background is quite rich lah, this kind of thing. So I tell them that it's because you decided to actually respect me for being a student, right? That's why I also feel like I can talk to you lah, right? If you just brush me off, then next time when I do become the CEO, I don't want to speak at your event. How? Who lugi? This kind of thing. You may think that maybe I very like 斤斤计较 kind of thing lah, but it's the truth. Why didn't you believe in the potential of a student when you clearly know that students are the future of the workforce? This kind of thing. Actually, I already have quite a long blacklist lah of companies that have really like brushed me away, and because it's very rude lah. And there was this company, they actually based in SG, I think. Like their headquarters is at Harbourfront apparently. So they have a lot of public transport events that they host. So I registered for one. Then they say, oh no, students not allowed, this kind of thing. Then I say, then what about like if I just register and then see how I can contribute, how to share, Then I say, no, cannot, no. Wow, I tell you, this type, yeah, so it really matters like the perspective that we use to look at people, whether they are students, whether their educational level is very low or whatever. Like back then, my educational level was in 9th-Tech, what? Yeah, but does that mean I am stupid? No. Yeah, and a lot of people, I think there's still this issue of people thinking that IT students are bad lah. Yeah. I was from College Central, so in my full-time class there were a lot of paikia. That one is inevitable one lah. Yeah, but I'm not one lah. Even though sometimes because of my condition, I may look like a gangster or whatever. And actually, a lot of people ask me, are you part of a gang? Then I say no. This is just how I am. Yeah, and afterwards, this whole paikia thing, right? Yeah, so like, yeah, NS, yeah. So there was this guy, he was from JC. Somehow he despised people from IT. I don't know why lah. Maybe he's the elitist. Yeah, maybe he is an elitist. But I just find that it's very bad because before he knew that I was IT, right? From IT, he actually like talked to me very normally one. But after that, he found out that I was from IT, right? He started to like avoid me. Even though I'm the branch in charge and you have to talk to me whenever you need help or whatever, he just avoid me. So sometimes people's mentality very weird one. I don't know like what's going on, right? Yeah, but of course another issue is also 9th-Tech is considered relatively low lah, the qualification. So this applies to when I was applying for jobs after I ORD. So before ORD, we have this enhanced careers fair. Then when I enter the hall, I immediately just look for where the SRT booth is. Like, I am not kidding. I just look at the table, not table, the whole mat, right? Then I see SRT, then I just walk all the way there. Then as you walk around, right, there will be other companies like dragging you, like, hey, come join us, come. I say no. Then I ask them, where? Wow, don't like that, leh. Okay, so like I just ask them like where's the SRT booth? Then I say, oh, okay, thank you, bye bye. Yeah, because I am not interested in their opportunities at all. I just look for the SRT booth directly. So when I arrived there, there were two booths. One is SRT buses, another is SRT Thomson East Coast line lah, which is the newest line that you know. So the buses side, right, they keep dragging me. They say join us. Then I say no. because back then we all know that our trains were in a much more dire situation lah, which is why I decided to join like trains. Yeah, so I just told them no. After I fix the train, then I join your side. So right now I a bit regret this decision lah, to be honest, because now I see the bus getting worse with the bus contracting model and all that. So if any of you stay Sembawang or like Yishun, right, or even Woodlands, can you please like type into the chat, so at least I know how many people might know what I'm going to talk about. So the thing is, bus contracting model, right, is it's a 5-year thing lah. So every 5 years, LTA will come up with this tender and then say, oh, it's time for bidding. Then this bus service under this bus package, whoever win, you get to operate this bus package. So we are already at our 5th bus package. Yeah. If you know about Tower Transit and you know about Go Ahead Singapore, right? Yeah, these two are the Angmo companies lah. Yeah, our integral, the local one, SBS Transit and SRT lah. That one kind of no need say one. Yeah. So just now I mentioned about Sembawang, Yishun, Woodlands, right? Yeah. Tower Transit one that package. Yeah. So you cannot see buses. Green means Tower Transit, this kind of thing. No. Actually, green means government, because LTA wanted to standardize the buses to be green. Yeah, there was actually a voting between whether you want red or you want green lah. So if it's red, it will look like Transport for London. You know, the London buses, very famously known in red one. But ours is green. So actually, green isn't a bad choice, to be honest, because green represents how we are a clean and green city, you know, this kind of green. Yeah, but the thing is, LTA does a very bad job at standardization. So I always have to intervene from time to time. Yeah, that's no problem with LTA. Without my intervention, a lot of things go wrong. Yeah, then right now, you will also see a lot of the buses in HMRT colors, but they are not HMRT buses. So this is something that people call rojak lah, because it's messy rojak lor. So the term is rojak. But I say that, don't rojak lah. You want to standardize, just standardize this kind of thing. Yeah, but they are bad at standardization lor. Then what can I do? You know, I write email, wait for something to happen only lor. This kind of thing. Yeah, I cannot force them to do it. It's whether they really want to do it or not. Yeah, and so back to the whole ITE thing, right? Yeah. So when I look at this, look back in to this, how people look at ITE students, right? I just feel it's very sad lah. You know, it's just generalizing everybody, because for me ITE was very close to my house. You know, it's just a 10 minutes bus ride only. Yeah. So yeah, you just kinda generalize lor. Like you go ITE means you pai kia lor. Like maybe some of you also heard about RP, right? Like if you go RP, you pai kia, this kind of thing. Like it exists even right now. Yeah, this stigma. So yeah, it's kind of sad lah. But I always say, you know, the school that you come from, right, it doesn't define you. Like I told you all, I came from Rosyth, but I'm not an elitist one. Yeah, I go Rosyth because Rosyth is just outside my house there only. It's literally just across the road. So it's distance. It's not because it's very famous or whatever. Like a lot of people, they deliberately move into the area just to get into the school. For me, no, my parents had to endure the construction noise of the school, you know, when it was being built. Yeah, so I think this should be that so-called fair aspect lah. Like you have to bear with the noise, right? Your kids should be automatically eligible to enter this school. You know, like no salah, you have been here all along, and then the school come in, and then you have to bear with the noise and this kind of thing. Yeah, and I'm not sure how familiar all of you are with people who actually like deliberately move into a house that's nearer to the school just to get into the correct phase lah, so that they have a higher chance of getting in. But it's really very it's like it's a very common thing, yeah. But I just think it's not good, because for those who already stay around the area, they kind of, like gonna thrown to another school because of these people. Yeah. So it's just sad. So now back to the job thing. Yeah. Okay. So after the enhanced careers thing, right? I apply for a role, the assistant station manager lah. So that role is the lowest possible because like I mentioned, I wanted to start from the bottom. But then I didn't hear back from them lah. The salary would have been $1,725, 1725, based on NITEC. So if it's diploma, I think it's about 2,000 something. Yeah. But for me, it wasn't about the money lah. But sometimes people are curious, they say, hey, how much will they pay you, this kind of thing. So I just take note of it lor. Then yeah, I didn't receive any news at all. Yeah, even though I apply and I say that, I actually contribute a lot, this kind of thing. So it's very sad lah. Like you clearly know that I contribute a lot, and then I finally ORD lo, can finally join workforce lo, but you don't want me. Wow. The moment this happened, I was very sad lor. Like I gave so much love to this industry, and this is what I get, like complete silence. So afterwards, I went to Job Street, apply for a lot of the jobs, not just SRT lah, but just across the entire sector. Even those that I would say that I'm underqualified, because maybe let's say they are looking for higher NITEC or diploma or even degree, right? I just apply because I don't believe in quality. I don't believe in qualifications, because right now for me, I know more than all of these people might know. You see, like, okay, you may have a degree, but what do you know about public transport? This kind of thing, right? Yeah. So I went with this mentality that, you see, I have more knowledge. So why would this paper qualification apply? But of course, society don't see it this way lah. But okay lah, worth the try, right? So I applied over like 100 jobs and only got an interview with SBS Transit for a workshop technician role. And I went to the bus depot itself, but afterwards also I hear nothing, absolute silence. So the moment I see, you apply over 100 jobs already, and then so many see my profile and then like don't care about it, when clearly I already sent out one email saying that, I have done so much for this industry. Why you all don't take me? This kind of thing. Yeah, then afterwards I just don't care lah. Never mind. Cannot work, never mind. Still can study, right? So this is where I found my current course, which is this diploma in rapid transit technology. And initially it was supposed to be a full-time course, but because I graduated with a part-time NITEC, right? The SkillsFuture has this rule that if you have a part-time cert, you cannot apply for full-time course lah. So it was a blessing in disguise, because for 2020 there was no intake for full-time students. Yeah, so this course was only for part-time students. So that's how I went in lah, and that's where I am today lah. So very thankful for this interesting situation, and that I have so many classmates who are also very supportive of me, because when I first got to know them, there were like 20 plus of them, and then I tell them that, I want to be your CEO, this kind of thing. And I totally expected them to laugh at me, because this has been the case for many, many years. Like people just laugh at me like, hey, ambitious, this kind of thing. But they see me as a light of hope, right? They see that this guy really knows what he's doing. He can definitely bring change to the company. So slowly they started to confide in me, like what are the problems that they are facing right now in their workplace, like the sort of workplace toxicity they have, what kind of workplace inefficiencies that they have seen. So whatever they tell me today, I can definitely like factor in when I am able to bring change. Yeah, so I'm also very glad that they open up to me, because if they are very reserved about it, right, we won't be able to change anything, because no one says anything. And of course, a lot of people very scared lah. Like if I say this later, somehow some people know who say this, how, But I say, for me, I don't care about this, like whatever you tell me, it's just general feedback. Yeah, like let's say you tell me like the book in machine, that one like you know you tap your card, right, to prove that you are there for your work, right? Yeah. So actually some of them mentioned that that system is very laggy. So whenever it lags, right, or even crashes, right, even if you arrive at the station on time, right, but the system still haven't wake up yet, you consider late leh. Then it's like it makes no sense. Yeah, so it's all of these small little things, right, that they tell me today, that I can definitely bring change. Not say literally tomorrow, but the figurative tomorrow. Yeah, so this is why I really value feedback, whether it's from the commuter or from an employee. Okay, come, let's see what BT says. The bus service, yes. Big round and status quo, yes. So last time we have TIBS, but TIBS was swallowed by SMRT lah. So back then, a lot of people very unhappy with SMRT. How come go and acquire TIBS when TIBS could have survived on their own, this kind of thing? Yeah. And yeah, actually now the operator is SMRT, not TIBS. TIBS is the orange one. Yeah, that one disappeared in 2004 already, because that's when SMRT buses kind of swallowed them lah. Yeah. So a lot, actually you say TIBS is a good point, because a lot of people still don't know the different companies that are like present in our present landscape lah. Yeah. So a lot of people say SBS but whenever people say SBS, I tell them, do you know SBS is the one that existed like before 2001, the one that was established in 1973. Like, I think a lot of you know lah, because you have seen it for yourself, right? Actually, I have also seen it for myself, because there was a transition period between SBS and SBS Transit. So you have seen the two red stripes below the window, and the S, that was SBS. SBS Transit is the reddish, orange, and purple. You know the Y, look like Y one. We call it livery lah, but some people call it paint job, right? Yeah, there's a Y styling to it. That's SBS Transit. And SMRT got two colors. Okay, one is black, white, black, red, white lah, basically. So the other one is, it's their new livery. It's after they rebranded. So it's famously called Pixel, because there's a lot of pixel elements on this livery. But I just feel sad for SRT lah, because after they rebrand, the LTA started to standardize things. Even for the train, there's this red and green striped train, right? Yeah, that one is LTA logo lah. So very sad lah. Like you won't see this pixel livery for long one, once LTA decide to standardize everything, because some of the buses in these pixel colors, right, they are already green lah. So you really won't see them for long. Sooner or later, all of the buses will just turn green. There won't be any variety anymore. And that's a really sad thing lah. You may think maybe the buses don't affect you lah, but variety is definitely a good thing. So if you see everything green, it's like, ayo. As compared to last time, you would definitely prefer more colors, right? Yeah, like we had so much color. You remember CSS? CSS also played a part in making our whole bus landscape colorful, Yeah, and when you look at this, ayo, next time all the bus green, wow, sian man. Or maybe they will camouflage with the greenery lah, don't know lah, yeah. But it's just a bad thing lah, because a lot of people in the bus hobby, they are like, ayo, if like that, then there's no more variety. What would be interesting about our buses? Yes, they may be new, they may be fanciful, but all are green. Wow, boring, yeah. This kind of thing. Yeah. So I think one thing I want to ask everyone, right, is what does the word scholar tell you? Like, what comes to mind when you hear the word scholar? Because as a scholar myself, right, I also want to address the stigma that people have regarding scholars. Like, are scholars rich? Are scholars elitist? Yeah, because in the mainstream news, we have heard a lot of things about scholars, right? And I think it's just generally bad lah. Yeah. So as a scholar myself, I also want to tell people, scholar is not really like this or that, you know. It's just that I'm a recipient of this scholarship. Yes, I have the money, but what matters is how I use that money. Don't anyhow spend the money, you know. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Ho, or is it Dr. Ho? Okay, never mind. I just assume doctor. Okay, so just now I mentioned I was diagnosed in like when I was P5, I think. So there was this period of time when I was just dismissed as a naughty kid lah. Yeah, so not, you know how people treat naughty kids ma. Just put them one corner lor. Then after that you want to spank them whatever, just do lor, you know, cause naughty ma. But the thing is, back then the awareness was very low. No one know what autism is, you know, this kind of thing. So they just, you know, like Asian parent kind of treatment one lah. But for me, back then, like there was this time during kindergarten, I did not know how to express my excitement. So I used to elbow my friends a lot. Then the teachers kind of misinterpreted that as an act of aggression lah. Then they say, oh no, you go and stand one corner, this kind of thing. So can see that the awareness level was really, really low. And yeah, like no one knew lah. It's until when I was P4, then my form teacher noticed the sign that I might be autistic. So she just told my parents like, oh, your child might be autistic, you know, do you want to send him for a diagnosis kind of thing? Yeah, so I was diagnosed, actually I was diagnosed P6 lah, not P5. It was supposed to be P5, but because they delay it until P6, right, I got the diagnosis for free lah. Because just now I mentioned diagnosis actually expensive one lah. Just for that piece of paper, expensive. Yeah, so blessing in disguise, because I don't think I would have been able to like afford it, because I actually come from a lower middle income household. And yeah, because of this nature, I don't anyhow spend money one lah. So like just now I was talking about how a scholar can be rich and all that, but it really depends on how they manage that money. Yeah. So a lot of people, once they know that,
because you tend to talk, Mr. Tan, you talk on and on. Can we ask you questions?
Can I ask you? Initially, I say I want this to be interactive.
I see your parents are standing behind you.
No, not just this middle is not my parents. Mom. No, the middle is my mom.
Sorry?
This one in the middle.
The middle is a man.
My mom.
Your mom and dad is there.
No. This is me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's why I highlighted. Hey, yeah, no difference.
Okay, okay. When you were born, what was their kind of? How do they see you? Did they tell you anything unusual or not? You like to play with special toys. You take a book, keep turning upside down. Is there anything unusual?
No. I actually, you know, like we have our health booklet, all this, right? Yeah, there was nothing unusual. It's all the normal baby stuff.
I see.
Like,
so
there's nothing related to motor skills or whatever. Like
there's as a kid, a young child, maybe you are quite brilliant. Were you kind of a leadership? Did you have leadership quality when you are a child?
That one I don't know leh. Many years ago already.
No, this is all from the parents. The parents can tell you. You have to go back and ask her. And also, you said at P5 you're diagnosed with autistic. Just for everybody's benefit, the teacher is very good. How did the teacher sort of kind of get this idea that you are autistic?
I think this my form teacher, she also has like maybe experience in this. So thanks to her lah. If not, I would have never known about this also. Okay,
knowing that already, what impact to know and not to know? What is the impact, or what kind of course you have to undergo? What kind of teaching you have to undergo?
Oh, okay. This is a good point, because actually I was supposed to go to Pathlight, and I was already on the waiting list to enter Pathlight. But they took so long to respond, right? I already enrolled in a mainstream school. And when I was selecting this mainstream school, I had two choices. So there was this school that was very close and another school that's not that close, but still not too far lah. So this second school, it had special needs support. So because it had special needs support,
What's the name?
I
Is
chose
it
this
roadside
school.
school?
Oh, no, I'm talking about secondary school.
Oh,
Yeah. The primary school, no choice, because for me, my first choice is roadside, because very near, why not?
so you got into roadside.
Yeah, I got the roadside.
That's a gifted school, no?
Yes, it is, but that now this is why I have to like dispel the myth lah. Yes, it's a gifted school. I am gifted, but does that mean I'm in their GEP? No, they actually abandoned me because I wasn't able to catch up due to my selective learning lah. I don't like maths. I don't like this, But they didn't see my actual talent.
Yeah.
Because back then everyone sees that, oh, you must be good in maths, you must be good in English, then you are considered a good student. They didn't know that I already have the practical quality, that I improved the traffic situation for them.
You mean at that time you improved traffic situation for the school?
Yes, I did.
And the principal did not appreciate you?
I don't think so. Yeah. Because
So
sometimes it's very weird. Like you so young kid, how come you know all this? Yeah, maybe they also find like very weird.
So the teacher sort of pick you up, and then and what was then done?
Oh yeah, so I was recommended to go for diagnosis, but the school delayed this diagnosis for 1 year lah. So that's back to how I got the diagnosis for free.
But that 1 year you have gone to a normal school instead of Pathlight?
Oh no, you are confusing with the whole primary school and secondary school thing already. Like from P5 to P6 I am still in roadside.
Oh, still in roadside, I see.
Yeah. It's only when about to like enter secondary 1, then I had the choice whether I want to go to Pathlight or like just enroll in mainstream school lah.
So in P6 you make diagnosis of me in P6, huh?
Yes.
So how do they diagnose you for everybody's interest?
Oh, just now actually I mentioned like it's like IQ test kind of thing. Yeah, so I don't remember what the actual thing was like lah, but I really remember that there was this kind of like look at this pattern, this kind of thing. I don't know how they managed to diagnose it, but yeah, that's how the diagnosis works, I guess.
Yeah, and so for autism they didn't send you to Pathlight. They said you went to a normal school.
Okay, so this one is the story that I want to say lah. So I was on the wait list to Pathlight already, but because it's a wait list so you have to wait . So actually I went to enroll in Organised actually. So they on that booklet, the cut-off points booklet, right? They have this part where it says they have special needs support. And the other school that I was considering was Bowen, because that one is literally across my house also lah. So I chose Hougang because of the special needs thing. And by the time I was already quite used to the whole mainstream school environment, then Pathlight say, we can take you in already, you want or not? Then I say, no lah, I already used to this mainstream school, you want me to go and get used to another new environment? I say no. And this was actually another blessing lah, because from what I know, those in Pathlight, they are like overprotected in a way. Yeah, and that is not a good thing. And because I went to a mainstream school, I really emerged out stronger through all of this mental hell that I've experienced.
I disagree. If you have gone to Pathlight, you'll be a king there.
No. That's not a good thing. The thing is, because you don't have exposure to actual like so-called neurotypicals, right? And you will be under the care of like, it's a comfortable environment, like comfort zone. So you won't really grow there. Yes, you are in a safe environment lah, but I would say that comparing to mainstream school, right? My growth would have been much more like less.
How's the progress in the mainstream school?
Progress in what context?
In the sense that your results, and then eventually your A-level.
Okay, so the results wise, I think it's okay, because for me, I do have some of my favorite subjects. But the problem is MOE curriculum is very funny one. They expect you to write things in a certain format, right? Maybe some of you heard of PEL. I went against that format. I say I don't care about your format. I know what I want to write. And of course, because of this, I get low marks lah. But the thing is, I know what I'm saying. You know, it's just because of this whole format nonsense, right? I fail the subject or whatever. So I was very angry because I know more until like maybe they expect 500, right? I go and write 5,000 words because I really know about their topic. And just that I didn't write according to what they want, right? Yeah. So I think that's a bad thing for education lah, because you know something, but you are not encouraged to actually share it through your writing. Yeah, so that was a very bad thing. But
When you
afterwards,
are diagnosed with autism,
yes,
can you make any sense out of it when they say, "Oh, you have autism"? Can you make any sense out of it at that time?
that one I wouldn't really know lah, cause still young ma, wouldn't
Too
know
young to
much
know.
about it.
See.
Yeah. But I definitely knew I was different lah in a way, because a lot of people always look at me differently, put me aside, this kind of thing. So that's where I knew that I was definitely different from people. And some other autistic individuals, right, they actually feel that sometimes they are not part of this world because they are not accepted. They're just very different from all the so-called normal people. Lor. So sometimes we also feel like, hey, maybe we're aliens, you know, this kind of thing. Because
Did
we really
they do an IQ on you?
yeah. They did something like that. Like, you know what you
Do you
always see
know
in the
what's your
IQ
IQ?
test? No, as in not like an actual IQ test. It's like an IQ test, the diagnosis.
So you don't have to go through any special course for autism?
No.
No, I see. Okay, then you did an A level, or
No, N level.
N level, and after that
Yeah.
you go to technical school.
ITE, yeah, correct.
ITE, I see. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yes, President
Okay,
will talk to you.
See, my opinion about autistic is that it has nothing to do with intelligence. A lot of people think autistic people are more intelligent. But in my opinion, is autistic is not a disease. It is just a slower development of social behavior. Okay, in NUS High, I have 2 children in NUS High. And NUS High has a lot of autistic children. And NUS High, because they are very special, they only recruit people who are good maths and science. So you find that a lot of students there who are autistic are good in maths and science. So that doesn't mean that all autistic children are good in maths and science. Okay, if you're autistic, you are socially disconnected. You don't develop socially. Mentally, you are not developed. Say a 12-year-old kid has, let's say, a mental age of 6-year-old. Socially, social behavior. The rest are normal. But because they don't socialize, just like if you don't watch TV, you'll be better in other things. Let's say you play piano instead of watching TV, you're better in piano. If you do maths rather than watch TV, you're better in maths. So if you don't socialize, you're definitely better in another area. Okay, you cannot, it's not that all autistic people are very intelligent. The intelligence is the same. But autistic is also not a disease. It's just a slow development. I have known people who are autistic and get PhD. My son studied in this Cambridge. His classmate is also autistic, also Singaporean, don't do NS. You see, exempted from NS. So he went in 2 years younger, and then he is also in the same class, maths. So autistic has nothing to do with, it just develops slowly. But after, the parents will worry, like these are children, how they handle themselves alone in a foreign country. But they did well. They socialize a bit more, and then they start to develop social behavior. So they will develop socially at a slower pace than normal. So there's another person I know, PhD in chemistry. You imagine how can autistic be PhD? And now it's normal. You talk to him, you don't know, and you don't know he's autistic. But when he was young, he's naughty. And then he even scold the mother. Then what you want to do? So if for example, we have children, very young children, 1 year old. Normally it's a boy, and then they say this little boy is very naughty. Why? 1 year old and you keep saying he's naughty. Why? Because he's still grumbling, screaming, and all these things. He wants something, he keep on grumbling and shouting. Because his brain has developed faster than his speech. You normally don't have this problem with girls, because girls develop the speech faster than the guy. So normally girls, they say they are better, they are good girl, but boy always very naughty. But it's a good sign. If you see your child, let's say a 1 year old child, behaving very naughty, it's because the brain already developed and they wanted to get something or do something or express some opinion. They cannot talk. So they cannot talk, they're very frustrated, keep grumbling like that. You see, so this is a good sign. It's a good sign of the brain developing faster than the ability to talk. So you just tolerate it. Don't beat him, for heaven's sake. This boy is developing very well. My son is like that also last time. We also don't beat him. he just naughty a while, a couple of months, and then he start to talk a bit already. Then okay already. The temper will cool down. He will behave normally already. So
okay, the teacher who diagnosed you, who observed you, is a sort of a smart one. Put it this way: the teacher might not have noticed you, and you would have gone your usual way, and you don't carry the badge of I'm autistic. Would you agree with me or not, Mr. Tan?
Yeah, because if not for her, right? Yeah,
if not for teacher, you won't know.
Yeah, I would have definitely went a different way lah. Maybe I would have went to path light as what BT said. Then it would have been a very different case lah. Yeah.
With your intelligence,
you
still be doing well lah.
No, you knock yourself socially against this and that law. Your friends will grumble with you. If you join different friends, you'll fight and all these things. So you will take a different path in your social development. But eventually you will develop your social behavior. You will start to understand. But when you're 24, you'll be like, let's say 12 years old, 15-year-old. Then you will understand what is called correct behavior. Then you will normally be okay already. It just take time. The PhD is 30 years old. Then he's normal already. 30 years old with brain.
My point is, many of us are autistic. See, the president is autistic, but not diagnosed.
Yes. That's one point I mentioned. Yeah, we might have the thing just that
many of us are autistic.
Yeah.
When I say my son is autistic, my wife will say I am autistic. But I am not autistic.
It's not that bad to say I'm autistic. So I'm sure you do not hide your autism, Mr. Tan.
Yeah. If I hide, I talk to you for what?
Nothing to hide. Everybody develops certain things faster, certain things slower. Some people develop the height slower, so they are shorter. Some are taller, some are fatter, some thinner. Some people learn to save money at a later stage. Some people learn to behave at a later stage. So it's just a timing difference.
Hello.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure. Shenton.
Yeah. What I understand, autistic children is something to do with the pineal gland and the pituitary gland that confuse the immune system. So they cannot regulate the gland in a proper way. That's why they are irregular. You see, there's nothing wrong. So there's a guy who discovered about autistic children, and he have discovered a blanket called gravity blanket. regulate your immune system. You can go to blanket. They use this for autistic children in California. I bought the blanket myself for sleeping problem. I cannot sleep well. So I bought, and it cured me within 2 weeks. If you got sleeping problem, this gravity blanket can solve the problem.
Oh, we'll be interested to know. Maybe you later on you share with us with the.
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't pay? You didn't pay thousands and thousands of dollars?
No need. You go to Magic Blanket. This guy who found out about these autistic children, so he invented himself. So he found out it's actually deal with pituitary gland and the pineal gland who cannot secrete your immune system in a very regulate manner. So he discovered that when you sleep with this gravity blanket, meaning the blanket got weight, then you sleep the whole night, then the gland will secrete your immune system more evenly. So when you get up in the morning, you are more well balanced.
Maybe snake oil. It's a snake oil.
Yeah, it's snake oil. A bit hard to believe, Shenton.
You don't worry. Just go to internet and just check called Magic Blanket.
We all like to
explain to you
see
how.
And share. It's welcome.
How can a blanket solve the problem?
No.
Actually, if you don't have blanket, if
you feel good, it's good. It's worth it.
If you don't have blanket, you can use an old telephone book and sleep on. Put the telephone book on top of you and sleep. Put some weight on your body, then you'll find there's a difference tomorrow morning.
Just to remind everybody, recently we have Stephen Shire. Stephen Shire is an autistic black from England, and he came to Singapore. He painted the whole Singapore scenery after he went up in a helicopter for about an hour or so, and the next day he painted the whole Singapore waterfront from his memory. So, Mr. Tan, do you have the same kind of?
No. Mine is not artistic one. I may be autistic, but not artistic. Sorry.
Yeah. So everybody has a different gift, lah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's what I mentioned just now. Like I'm not good in maths and all that, but I'm good in critical problem skills and all of these. Yeah, problem solving skills. Yeah.
Okay, President, your permission, we change the subject from actual autism to his field of interest about transportation. We like to ask him questions regarding transportation. We change the subject. So I want to start off by saying this escalator speed, Mr. Tan.
Yes.
In the business in Orchard Road or many in office, the speed is very fast. So now the question is, if there's any injury sustained on the escalator, is the LTA liable or not?
You say office, but it shouldn't be LTA, right? Because office.
Sorry?
You say office, right?
No. Now we are asking you regarding LTA matters rather than on autism.
Oh, no. As in you say office.
Sorry?
You say office, right?
No, speed, the speed of escalator.
MRT escalator, too fast.
Because you say office, then not the jurisdiction. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I have autism also.
Yeah, don't like that. Okay. So this one is actually under the jurisdiction of the operator. So you say Orchard, right? That would be SMRT. Yeah, but usually the escalator not fast one. It's because of the wear and tear issue.
In the business area, CBD.
Oh, okay.
Not Orchard, CBD is very fast. So, number one, will the operator be responsible for anybody injured?
Do you know the exact location of this escalator you are talking about?
No, I'm just talking in general.
No, because I have to understand the actual jurisdiction.
No, any of the escalator that is fast. My point is, if you reduce the speed to a more reasonable time, and then at this speed, how much pedestrian do you carry? That's my point.
Oh, that one is all the traffic flow theory already. I'm not so cheap yet, sorry.
Not so cheap, because if the flow if the flow rate is not that much, it is not wise to
exactly, yeah,
not
yeah.
wise. So you tell them to cut down the speed.
Actually,
then,
do you know why it's so fast? Because in HRT context, they are trying to slow down the escalators due to wear and tear.
but
Or if you know the actual place, you can tell me. I can go and do site visit on.
I mean, all our members can tell you what any time in town. And anyway, you must also realize you and I are so used to the speed. It's okay, but our Singapore population is growing older.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So they will be having problem. So I'm warning the operator that they should be responsible for the any injury sustained on the escalator. That's my point. You want to look into it.
Different people have different opinion. I have the opinion that the speed is too slow. They adjusted the speed slower for what?
Okay, Kakak, this is the part I want to talk about. Wait, everybody calm down. Okay, so for those on North-South and East-West line, right, you notice the escalator speed is much more slower, right? That was what I was talking about, like, because the wear and tear, they want to keep the speed slower. Then they also smoke you with half-truth. They say it's also because got elderly. But the primary purpose is because of the wear and tear. So Dr. made a very good point because I really didn't know about this so-called high-speed escalator. But if you really know like which area got this, right, please tell me. I can go and do a site visit and then I can see how things can be improved.
No, you go around and do an inspection yourself.
Yes. You have to tell me where exactly. You cannot just say town area. Yeah, your personal experience. Which part you went to. Just tell me that one can.
So you give us your contact.
Can.
We will be a kind of support. We'll support you with anything. Members see something, we get passed to you.
But actual fault don't send to me. Send to SRT or whatever.
No, because they send. They don't listen to me.
No, it's not they don't listen. It's sometimes
when you send, they listen to you.
Oh, is it? Okay, so must send through me. I understand it. Okay, I just leave my contact number there. You all got anything, just WhatsApp me, Ken?
Yeah, this parking space in Singapore, we have very little parking space. You know what's the reason? Because anybody can buy a car. The condo has no place to park. You park on the road. In Hong Kong, you are not supposed to park your car on the public road. So you foresee a day they will make sure that you buy a parking lot. You must own a parking lot. But I know what Singapore will do. They will charge you for parking along the road. Because now and then we drive, we can't find a place to park at all because it's all taken up by people staying around there. So
this one is a rich man problem. It's not a problem because they have a lot of money. Government can always tax them, parking, fine them, no problem. And the rich buy bungalow, landed property, they have a free parking. You buy condo, you got free parking. So what's the point? They don't pay. By HDB, you got pay parking. So just tax and reduce the car.
Yes.
MRT.
Yes, that's tax. Okay, well, I got one more question for Mr. Tan.
The other thing, if you take an escalator and you fall down, it's your problem. If you think it's too fast, you take the elevator. Don't take.
Yeah, that's what BT mentioned also.
That's also an argument.
Yeah.
So you put a signboard there. Please take the elevator.
Oh, don't need signboard. Actually, they do verbal announcement for that one.
If you notice, you can do your own.
Oh, is it? I never noticed.
Yeah. Even in Malay, if you notice.
Okay.
Like they always say sila gunakan lift, right? If you heard.
And then you hold on to the handrail if you think it's too fast. But already I think it's too slow.
Different place got different context so that's why I need to understand the actual place.
Off-peak is slower. Peak period is faster.
Yeah, it's definitely faster because they have to deal with more people, Yeah. Before I answer your next question, Dr. Ho, just now, what TBS? If I call you TBS, very weird. Just now you wanted to say something, is it?
I don't know what I want. I want to say, there's something I want to say.
No, I'm asking our sir TBS here.
TBS, I
I'm
don't.
saying the escalator move fast means it can carry more people.
Yes, just now mentioned already.
Yeah, but I suppose it does carry more, but then it is a danger to more elderly people, fall down and so on.
Okay, this is why I always got two sides of the picture, right? This is where I can understand why you think your argument make more sense. The other people also come and tell me my argument make more sense, you know. This is what I encountered in NS, right? So I will understand there are always two sides of the picture one. So don't worry, no one is like shooting your idea down. I just really need to know where exactly you saw this problem, because I do site visits a lot one. When I see it, then I can really understand. Not see it to believe it, but see it to really understand what you were trying to say. Yeah. So
okay, I want to move on to another thing. Just because you got a mind to see things, I want to ask you about right-hand drive and left-hand drive.
Oh, okay, come.
Okay,
very good.
The American way is right.
No, it's considered left-hand drive.
Sorry?
No, the actual term is left-hand drive, because the steering wheel is on the left-hand drive.
Left-hand drive.
Yeah.
American left-hand drive is more logical, because in the past we used to use the right hand to operate on the gears. And the gears, the important hand on the gears. Okay. And then the British argue our right-hand drive, your right hand is good to signal your direction. Can you? I feel that actually the left-hand drive is more appropriate rather than our right-hand drive. What is your take?
Okay, for this one, you raise a good point, because I don't really believe in left or right-hand drive, because everyone is different. Like, okay, why not everyone type into the chat, are you right-hander or left-hander? So yes, maybe in the whole wide world, maybe right hand is majority or whatever, right? But we cannot base situation like based on our decision that, oh, our hand more smooth, more soon on that gear, so I decide to do this, do that, right? Yeah. So what has been done already. You cannot go and convince people, let's go back to right-hand drive or go back to left-hand drive. Do you know that in Sweden, they wanted to convert.
Can I say something?
Wait. So when they want to change from like left-hand drive, from right-hand drive to left-hand drive, right? Everybody was confused. Like you can see the whole traffic situation was just crazy. Yeah, so a lot of people will argue, right-hand drive not needed, what? Yeah, but the thing is you can argue, but in practical reasoning, you want us to go back to left-hand drive, man? We will have another Sweden, right? Okay, come Shenton.
Okay, right-hand drive is because those days before car was invented, they used to have a horse carriage, you know.
Yeah.
So the horse carriage, the one is on the right-hand side. So they took the cue from the horse carriage. We have this example in Armenian Street, you know, the Armenian church, horse carriage, right? They have a shelter there, you can go and see. Secondly, is because left-hand drive is because in Europe, in America, they have strong wind cyclone. You see, if you drive on the right-hand side, the car will be overturned. So you use the left-hand drive is safer that way when there's a crosswind.
The crosswind thing, you must really like give us a source, to be honest.
Now, my opinion is different. Cars were invented in Europe, okay, in Scotland, Germany, France, and they are all right-hand drive. And then
left-hand drive, Europe left-hand drive.
All Europe right-hand drive. And then when the US took the car and produced in US, they always wanted to be different. So that's why they make it left-hand drive. Even the S, they change to Z, like realize, criticize. And electricity also invented, Europe is 230 volts. The US make it 110 volts. Everything in US is always, they want to be different. So purposely, nothing to do with good or bad.
Europe is like America. America follow Europe.
Come on, America don't follow Europe. They copy the invention and they change it so that's different.
Okay, this one because geopolitics already cannot already.
Okay,
So nothing to do with left hand better or right hand better. No.
No, but it's good to hear from everyone's point of view lah. Like Dr. He, you mentioned about like which one more 顺手 kind of thing, right? Which one is like easier on the hand. Then Benji, you mentioned about this how America wants to be different, which is true lah. Yeah, even though I don't want to dive into politics, but you can see that after they so-called declare independence, right? Then they started to want to do everything differently. They don't want to be the same, even though the people who came to US, right, are from Europe itself, but they want to be different from Europe. So their logic, I also don't understand lah. But yeah, I already tell you, it's about practicality. You cannot change already.
One more thing regarding the gears, the indicator. You see the Japanese car and the European car.
On the right,
If you got two cars, you are in, there's a danger of heavy accident.
Yeah.
Meaning that, you know, when for us, we sit on the right hand side, right hand drive. Our signaling should be on this side, the turn left, turn right, and the gear on this side. Whereas the Japanese are very good. The Japanese, the indicator right and left, the gear is on the left hand side. So maybe LTA should insist that cars in Singapore, the gears and the indicator must be on the right side, the indicator on right side, because we are right hand drive. Because when you indicate right and left, our hand goes up that way. So it's very confusing if you have a German car and a Japanese car, very dangerous. So this is a point you may want to explore.
Okay, never mind. Don't care German or Japanese car. How about no car?
Already, where got change gear some more? Alamak, you old fashioned eh.
They come car light lah, car light.
Electric car. Where got gear? Electric car.
Whether is it left or right, is a matter of getting used to it.
I tell you this one
Once you drive the car, you get used to it, whether it's left or right.
Or you just don't have car lah. You just take bus station.
Use your own car. Use your own car.
Use your own car. Yes, everyone has a car, right? Yeah, your wife has one. I have one pair.
Everybody has a pair of cars.
Yes.
Everybody has a car. My wife has one. I have
exactly. One. Yes.
Yeah, you follow people talk lah. You.
Yeah lah. I always follow.
I want to ask MRT question.
Yes. Come.
Okay, last time I used to ride the MRT. I say, hey, switch off all the lights in the MRT station during daytime. Then they reply, they say, no problem. They instructed their staff to switch off during daytime when it's bright, but they never do it. And the staff also don't care. Say, why? I got to show them the letter. See, this MRT letter say they inform you to switch off the light. Or then they switch off. Then next day also they don't care. Every time you got to remind. So, but they don't need light. Why you need light? Especially on the top ground floor road level station, the entrance there. The sunlight is so bright. Why they need to have a few more lights? Although they say they didn't switch on all, they didn't switch on the fuel, but if that fuel is already wasted. And someone I told them the train above ground don't need light, can switch off. They say cannot because accident they can't see. Daytime accident you can't see. In daytime, you need the lighting inside the train. In the tunnel, okay lah, understood lah. But if accident the train overturn or what, also cannot see the electricity cut off. But I'm talking about when the train is running above ground, they can switch off the light. Accident also got light. The sunlight is so bright. And I even take the lux meter measure and told them even without the lighting is still very bright. But they also don't care. Wait for you to be CEO and go and switch off lah. Or I become CEO and I switch off.
Help lah.
But you must be a general first before you can be a
CEO.
No. Yeah.
No. The general parachute go in really blur, don't know what to do. How to switch off light for you?
But still, they still parachute in.
Yeah, you must be a general, then they parachute you into a
Cannot
CEO
lah. Parachute, you won't know what you are doing. That's why
Don't
I said
care.
It's happening in Singapore.
Don't care. That's the policy.
That is the problem we are facing.
That's why I need to change this. You must believe in change.
But you must be a general.
No.
and wear
You,
white.
if you keep
If
saying
go
this,
up
that means
there,
you don't
can
believe in change. Ah, you see,
I
must
believe,
believe
but
in change
you
one.
can't change. You can't change.
No, cannot say that. If
Unless
you say
you
that,
go
then,
into
I have
politics,
to
then
undo
you can
all of
change.
my ideas. Then you will see the difference one. Must believe. It's because I was already on this path of changing the industry, right? That's why I believe I can pursue greater things, you know. Yeah.
If you another 30 years and you see nothing much change, you give up already.
No lah, cannot
Don't
one
have
lah. You
many
see,
30
even when
years
I'm not an
left.
employee, I'm really changing things.
Can, but you don't have many 30 years. What? You got one thing how to change for 30 years is still not changed.
You cannot say like that. This one is pessimistic.
Yeah, you try to change, you get MRT switch off all the lights.
No,
told them
this
put
switch off
sensor.
thing, I will go and see why they don't want to switch off. Okay,
Over-
yeah, because always
and the
must listen
train
to
is
both
above
sides of the
ground.
story, right?
Yeah, I told them every month they save 10, every year they save, every month can save 10,000. Then they don't want.
Can I ask a
not
question?
interested.
Yes,
Yes.
Sing.
Yeah. Just to check with you, regarding the fare for different lines. Is it still different for different lines for per kilometers of travel? Because if I understand correctly, the Circle Line is priced higher than the North, South, and East, West.
Yes.
Do you believe in this kind of system?
No, actually PTC has already come up with I'm not sure if it's press release lah, but I saw it on Instagram. They mentioned that it's actually the same now because there's not much need lah to charge like higher or lower kind of thing.
When was it changed?
I just saw this post like I think maybe 1 or 2 months ago. But the policy might be like
it reflected. In fact, if they have this kind of costing change, they should announce to the public.
Yeah, so one problem I noticed about this, right, is let's say I want to travel from one station to another. Then now we got so many MRT lines, right? How can the system know which line you took? Yeah, that's one gray area. So I also want to highlight this to them.
Yeah, and then it depends on different direction, you know.
Yes,
I think the most important price system is when, a direct straight line, between two stations, and you find out the distance and you charge according to that, price model. I think that will be the fairest system. The reason why they want to have, let's say, Circle Line being very, or some other line to be high cost, they say the pedestrian flow might not be so high.
No lah,
This
that's
is
false.
really nonsense,
Yes, nonsense. Do you know LTA actually forecast wrong? They thought Circle Line will be low demand. That's why only 3 cars.
Yes.
And then I myself, I stay Serangoon. I take Circle Line. I see for myself, back leh.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's good that you mentioned this. So at least I know I'm not alone in this lah.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
There will be people riding the line.
Yes, BT, what you want to say?
Let's say
Provision for extra trains to be added.
your bus fare is inclusive of the. Okay.
Huh?
Let's say you are going from City Hall to Changi Airport. Then along the way you get off, then you can take a bus ride. The fare is considered one fare, right?
That one not considered like
correct.
It's not considered one fare in a way lah, but it's considered transfer.
It's continuous fare. The fare is continuous
Yeah, as long as you transfer within a time period lah.
Who take the money first?
Who take the money first?
Within 2 hours lah. Within 2 hours, 45 minutes the transit lah.
Yeah, 45.
But now you take train first, then you take bus. Who collect the money first? You hop on the train, the MRT take the money first. Then when you take on the bus, then the bus take the money first. Is it correct?
No, now don't apply because LTA is the king of everything already lah, right? So no matter you take the train first or the bus first, right? in the end, it's based on LTA's so-called performance KPI. Then it will so-called reward the operator
reason why
accordingly.
I ask you is because you see. So from Changi, I take. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Just a bit like a lot of static lah, but I still can hear you.
Okay, never mind. I just take from Changi, then I take to Simei MRT station. Then Simei, then I go to City Hall. The bus ride, when I come back, I take the same station. City Hall, come back to Simei on MRT. I take same distance up and down.
Cannot hear you clearly. Maybe you can type in the chat. Sorry.
Okay. Want me to repeat?
Oh, no, you just type in the chat because there's this static. It keeps disrupting what you say. Sorry.
Okay,
whatever you take, the line is for senior citizens only 92 cents.
Yeah, senior citizen one.
But
is
for
like,
me, senior citizen. For me, senior citizen, 92 cents is if you don't stay at Singapore, it's more than 92 cents.
Do you
Changi, my place to Simei, then to City Hall?
Do you take any so-called special bus service? Because concession fares don't apply to some of those services.
No, normal.
Normal, confirm.
Off-peak. Or North-peak. When I go from Changi to Simei to City Hall, it's cheaper. If I come from City Hall to Simei to Changi, it costs me more. I don't understand. And I think I went to the MRT station, they print out, correct. The price is different. They also don't know why it happened.
Okay, this one very difficult to explain. So I also need to understand why like that. Sometimes LTA try to use this style loophole.
When they say 2 cents or 96 cents, correct. They say 92 cents or 96 cents, right? Maximum, right? For me, no, man, I pay $1.04.
You all don't need worry. I tell you, I part-time student, but I do a student concession. I pay adult fare. Who lugi? I lugi. I pay, I not say pay, I contribute so much to this industry, I still pay adult fare. Wow, I tell you. I don't even get the concession, the what monthly hybrid concession pass, right? My card don't have. Yeah.
Shenton.
Yes.
Sometimes you drive, right?
Okay, those who drive, right? You must acknowledge. You must admit.
Do you use the parking app?
Yes.
Do you notice that whenever you end your parking early, the app will charge you 1 minute extra.
Really?
Next time you pay attention. You don't care whether you are at the end of the 1 minute or at the beginning of the 1 minute. They will definitely charge you one minute extra.
Okay, then that one you got to inform Lee Hsien Loong son. He's the one who he's the one who copy from somebody, then he upgrade the version. That's all.
I don't know whether the rest who drives notice this or not.
So you say this 1 minute thing is because people so-called check out early from the parking.
Check out early. When you start, you can only park for say minimum of 30 minutes, a block of 30 minutes. Okay. So let's say if you stop when your app shows that you still have 10 minutes left, right? So you click end early, immediately it becomes 9 minutes. They charge you 21 minutes. Even when the timer just changed, immediately you click, it's still 1 minute less. So every time you makan you 1 minute. So you look, imagine one day how many people. 1 minute is 2 cents, you know. So how many people
Really? Oh,
how many
maybe
people
that
extra, how much extra they charge?
Cheating. The government
maybe
cheating.
that one is 3G,
Yeah.
not upgraded to 4G yet.
So next time you drive, you use the app, you take a look.
Yeah, so just now I mentioned, right? Just now what Shantel mentioned, the what 92 cent, 96 cent, this kind of difference. It's true, all these small differences that they earn more. And then they kind of think that we don't know. Or maybe some we know and then we're like, never mind lah, just a few cents only. But some of us more, you know, like 斤斤计较, right? Like very particular, very calculative. So it's good that you guys do this. Yeah, because it's unfair lah.
You know why?
Even I say this.
They cheat you without you knowing, you know.
Yeah. Or even if you know, but sometimes you're like, leceh lah, don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
The problem is over parking. When you over park, you do not pay. So there's a penalty. So if there is an indication for us to continue to charge, it'll be a good idea. I think the app should allow a tick to say if after the time expire to continue to charge. Then I'll tick.
There is this function in the app.
Oh, there is.
Where you extend the parking, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You forget to end it, then the charges.
Yes. You forget to end, then you'll be charged extra.
They charge you for 5 hours, 6 hours.
No.
That reminds everyone to trace together, right?
Then it comes in a block of 30 minutes. So you don't park for 5 hours lah. You park 1 hour. Then when it's about to expire, they extend again lah.
But TBS, I ask you, is this GPS based?
Yes.
So when you drive away, it will end lah, right?
No.
No, it doesn't end. Yeah, of course, makan your
GPS
money lah.
only tells you where you are, which park, which parking you are at. When you drive, you don't care.
So must keep it a habit lah. If not, your money fly away lah.
Correct. You must end it yourself.
It's like safe
I think
entry.
use coupon better lah.
Use coupon.
Coupon also got this problem. If you come back early, you also lose out. No, I think the app is good. The app is good. I like the app. But then the problem is that every time you charge me 1 cent extra, you see? I mean 1 minute extra.
You put coupon can put what?
So coupon you expire, you don't come back and extend you kena later.
Hello, later Feng Fei Fei come.
Don't pay a fool lah. So the other thing about not so good about the app is also when let's say you park on those roadside parking without barrier, it gives you 10 minutes or even if you put at the those with gantry, they'll give you 10 minutes grace. You see, go out within 10 minutes, they don't charge you. But you use the app, you don't have the 10 minutes grace.
Yeah, apps are always like that one. They always like this, like that. Then they say, oh, need your feedback. But then they don't care one.
I think maybe you're going to feedback to them. If I end the session within 10 minutes, you should not charge me.
But I don't drive lah, so I really need to learn more about like this parking app is government one, right?
Yeah.
So I also heard about this app lah, but I don't drive, so. But usually it's because of all these changes, right? They they implement all these mini changes. Then that's where the unfairness comes in.
Do you know when they will take away the gantry and they use purely satellite?
Oh, you mean ERP 2.0?
Yeah, no more gantry. The moment you leave the house, the satellite will know.
Okay, this one is actually, I would say it's still wet dream kind of process lah. Because like, I know the technology provider is from Australia. I forgot the name lah. It starts with S. Then they mentioned about this whole ERP 2.0. So I think LTA did give a time frame, but I don't think it's that easy to implement. Yeah, I forgot the company. I forgot, it's Solus, I think. Is it Solus?
So by the time it's implemented, the technology is already dated already.
Yeah. Because actually, LTA always want to be first in the world, right? But by the time they do that, other country already like they already replace us in a way. But LTA always insists that, hey, no, we very technologically advanced. They always do this at a lot of those public events. I attended this event called Transport Ticketing Digital. So LTA kind of won the award lah, but they are not the only winner. Like for the so-called first place, right? We tied with Russia's Moscow Metro lah. So can see LTA needs to back up lah.
Yeah, before you end, you mentioned about 5 values. I came late. Sorry, what are the 5 values? Just recap.
Safety. Because safety must come first, safety. Then the second one is practicality. Like, you know how practical is the idea. Like you see, just now we all had a very, very interesting discussion about a lot of topics, right? And then everyone had all their opinions, and generally there are always 2 sides to a coin, as what BT said yeah. And so practicality comes to play when we want to discuss whether an idea can be implemented. Then the third one is accessibility. So everything must be accessible to people so accessibility is a very big thing Then the fourth one is common sense is cost effectiveness. Cost money everything that we do, money is involved. So if it's going to be very expensive, right? This kind of thing. And the last one is efficiency.
It's good to remember that.
Yeah, so even though I use this mostly in public transport context, right? But you can use it in like your everyday life, in your workplace or whatever, because this serves as a value for you to think about what you want to do when you say, hey, my idea can improve your process and whatever. Then you think about it using my values, like, does it make sense in that way?
Yeah.
So hope this has been a very interesting session for everyone.
Just before you go,
no, actually, if you guys still want to ask more, I don't mind. Yeah.
Safety, practicality, accessibility, common sense, and
no, cost effectiveness. Cost
effectiveness.
Yeah.
Is SPACE, space.
Yes, space. Correct.
Remember that?
Yes, that's why it's very easy to remember.
Space. You didn't tell us.
No, actually, I told you. But you came late. Yeah, you said you
sorry.
came late, right? Yeah. So I was wondering, should I make it space or should I make it spice? Then accessibility was a very hot topic, because you see there are people with wheelchairs and all that. And not just that, we also have this issue about serving the unbanked and the underbanked. That means like those who don't have access to banks basically, because now a lot of things all move online or whatever, right? Yeah. So accessibility is a very hot topic as well. So if any of you have anything, can just message me my number is there. Yeah, don't be shy
Thank you. And also please reply.
Oh, of course, we'll reply one. If I blue tick you, something wrong already. No maybe sometimes I busy but yeah. Confirm will reply one. If I don't know, I will also tell you I don't know. Because cannot be I know everything, right?
Is there any special area that you think you want us to look at it as a whole?
What do you mean by that?
No, I mean you already have some special pet areas that you like to look at more thoroughly.
Well, for me, my area of expertise is still public transport yeah. So that one is definite. But regarding active mobility, like, you know, the PMD, PMA, PAB, yeah, all of this, you can also share with me your concerns, because this is a very hot topic. Like, I don't dive into to politics again, lah. But the thing is, you see PAP banned, but WP wants to bring it back, but they don't have an actual framework on how they want to bring it back. So I'm trying to serve as the balance, lah. Like, one wants to ban it completely, one wants to just bring it without any like proper consideration, right? So yeah, that's why I have my values, lah. So hopefully when it comes back, we will have a much more safer environment to not just walk, lah, but since many of you are drivers, right, you know how cyclists can be, lah.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
one thing,
Yes.
you know, one thing I very hold strongly is, number one, pedestrian on the road,
Yes.
they must be walking towards the oncoming traffic.
Yes.
That must be somehow you must put into this. Those who run and those who walk, they must walk against the coming traffic. It is very wrong to walk facing.
Yeah, because they don't see it.
They don't see it. That's one thing. LTA must try to advertise it. And
yeah, I understand your concern, lah, but you must also think about
cyclists on the same side is okay.
Yeah. But also must think about like in special areas, lah, like junctions, roundabouts, you know.
But
yeah.
You know one thing why people walk away from the traffic, because of particularly evening, the light coming on. That's the reason why they develop the habit of walking with the traffic. They should be walking against the traffic, but because at night the light is glaring. But can't be helped. Your life is more important.
This one is just like the whole PMD issue also, like, you know those young punk, right? They like to put their headlight very, very strong, then it blinds you, right? Yeah. So I understand where you're coming from.
In the train, can you put the camera on either end?
What you mean? Like
in the carriage? In the carriage.
End? We already have the cameras, what?
Camera in each carriage,
Yeah, we have.
Oh.
Hidden only, you just don't know which one it
oh,
is.
Thank you.
Okay. So which line are you talking about?
No, I'm just talking in general.
Oh, in general. Okay, so yeah, they are quite blended. They are very well blended, lah. So like it's actually Dr. Ho doesn't take expose ayo.
Sorry, I expose you.
No, they expose you. They say you don't take MRT. Okay, don't worry. Yeah.
No,
so it's actually very well blended with the background. It's actually white color, right? Yeah. And okay, last time it says that this is a CCTV, but they removed that sticker already. So now you don't know it's a CCTV.
Yeah. So the reason why I asked, because I'm amazed how they catch criminals in the train station. They're able to catch criminals.
I mean, Singapore got a lot of CCTV.
General.
There's a lot of CCTV at the train station, naturally, right?
Yeah. And
but
also
you mean in the train, lah. You mean
carriage?
In the train,
I'm surprised it's in the carriage. Next time we go in, we'll have a better look.
No, not we. It's you. They point finger at you. No, don't worry. We learn new things every day, lah. So you learn this today, yeah. BT says LTA or police should look into cyclists riding outside of shop houses, which are meant for people not cyclists. Yeah, okay, this is a very big problem. So not sure if any of you know about the NTUC. They have this like some National Delivery Champion Association, I think, and they particularly they want to understand what the delivery riders are facing. So I attended one of their preparatory workshop, because I am the one who actually suggested that we have a theory test for all of these active mobility modes lah. Maybe some of you may think it's like very redundant, like, hey, is it just for the money? I say no, it's not for the money, because I told all of you, I actually wanted highway code for my birthday gift. Yeah. So actually I read the highway code, and that's where I got the idea. Since I read the highway code, what can we implement from the highway code for the pathway? So I called it the pathway code. But LTA didn't implement it as the pathway code lah. They call it the mandatory theory test. Yeah. But essentially that was mooted because of me. Yeah, so if anyone buay song about the idea, just let me know. Because I'm the one who created it. So I will be able to like address your concerns directly.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what you
but
create? What you create?
pathway code. So like there's a mandatory theory test for riders, for
Oh,
PMD and PAB riders.
oh,
Yeah. So that one was my idea lah. But LTA twists a bit. So not everything is my idea. Like there's this minimum age limit, like 16 years old. I didn't suggest any age limit because I don't believe in the correlation between like age and maturity lah. Like I can have 35-year-old people cannot cycle properly or cannot ride PMD properly, which was the truth, like back then when PMDs were everywhere, right? A lot of the situation that I face is all the middle-aged people cannot, like, they cannot share the path nicely one, they have to like, hey, I own the road, this kind of thing, yeah. So this is why I don't believe in the age requirement thing. And if there are other parts of the theory test that you have any question, you can just tell me, because sometimes I may not have caught on to that fact, but you see it so you just let me know. Then you just let me know your concerns. And bicycles may need to have license plate. Yes, this is also something that I suggested. Because like you see, how come only PMDs kena license? Then like just now I also mentioned, right, bicycles they can also be deadly one. Like before PMDs were even a thing, we already have a lot of issues of pedestrians coexisting with cyclists on the pathway. So I also suggested that, why don't we have licensing system for bicycles? LTA say no lah, naturally lah. That one very understandable one. But I hope all of you also understand why I also have this opinion that we need to license it as well. When I do something, it's never for the money one. It's
license the
always for
bicycle
safety. Yeah.
Do you know it was licensed before?
Yeah, it was licensed before. So
Before
we
it
need
was
to bring it
licensed?
back. Yeah, we need to bring
way
it back. Yes, we need to bring it back. Yeah. But a lot of people will say, yeah, it's for the money, this kind of thing.
No. Recent, I think just a few days ago, the government says no.
I think Ho Ching did make a statement about it, right?
The new guidelines, the government said no.
No to what?
No to licensing.
For bicycle?
Yes.
Okay.
They'll lose the vote if they want to license the.
Yeah.
Yes, that one very obvious. Yeah.
Because they are encouraging people to give up the car to use the bicycle. See, licensing will definitely discourage them.
Yeah, it will definitely dampen the thing but you see a lot of the cyclists, they just get away. Then you don't, there's no way of tracking them down unless you tell me just nice got one camera there can catch them.
If you want to overtake a bicycle, you need to keep 1.5 meter away.
Yeah. They're for driver lah.
For driver lah.
Yeah lah. But then I am pedestrian. When they overtake me, where got 1.5? 1.5 cm maybe lah. Ayo, dangerous leh.
So if you are pedestrian, you are not supposed to be on the road.
No, as in the pathway, because bicycle. Pathway, okay, yeah. Okay. Ayo, why would I walk on the road? Yeah lah, but I understand everyone's point of view here. You see, it's all about safety one. Yeah. But government will make use of the opportunity to also make money lah, And that's where just now what you all say, they will lose vote because it's about money ma. Then people will think you come up with this because of the money, right? Yeah. This is a very common mentality lah, so I understand. Yeah, but if anything comes from me, right, it's never about the money one. It's always really about the situation at hand.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, for talking to all these old men.
No lah, don't worry lah. Inside here also old already.
Thank you,
Ned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.